Charlie Rocket, this is a full circle moment for me, my man. So back in 2019, before I had this podcast and I was trying to figure out a lot of things in my life, it was like a very important year for me, like self-discovery, if you will. I remember seeing a video of you on Instagram at the time that was from the Ed Milet show, where you walked Ed through this theory that you had discovered on life called the I am you theory, which I am telling you to this day, you and I were talking off camera. I told you it's been mentioned probably 20 different episodes throughout the history of my podcast. I tell it to everyone I know. It is the best theory I have ever heard in my life. It explains human existence and human relationships all at the same time, and I'm sure we'll go over it today so people can be refreshed on what it is if you haven't heard me say it a million times. But dude, like whatever that perspective was that you captured through your strictly like your curiosity to then put all these different things together across culture, I was like, that guy is a genius. So to see that you eventually saw a video of me talking about that all these years later and then found me through social media and you and I have become friends, it's a really, I don't know, it's a really special thing for me and very, very validating in kind of where I'm at this point. So thanks for being here, bro.
Bro, what's crazy is when I saw the video of you, I was like, this guy articulated it better than I did. I said, this guy's a genius. And immediately I was like, I got to get this guy on the phone. I'm the type, when I'm inspired by somebody, I have to talk to them.
I like that.
And I'm like, I have to ask them questions. You might be looking at me as a smart guy. I'm like, no, this guy is smart. This guy's the future. I've always had this gift of being able to like see around the corner of like almost like somebody's future. Yeah. I've never actually seen somebody as they are today. I only see like their future version. And that's what made me like a good manager. Like I take somebody who literally has nothing and I only see their future. I don't even know how not to. I do not see that they don't have this or that. But when I saw you, I was like, oh my God, this guy's the greatest thing that podcasting has ever had. And I truly believe that. I tell my girlfriend, I'm like, this is the guy right here.
Well, thank you. That's pretty crazy to hear. What is it like, what makes you able to see in people their future rather than who they are right now?
I think it's I'm naturally a delusional optimist.
Delusional optimist.
Delusional optimist. To where like I see a lot with my like heart instead of like my brain. So brain needs to like be realistic. Heart just kind of knows stuff. Like, for example, if I were to say like follow your, what would you say?
Dreams.
Okay. What's another thing you would say? Follow your
heart.
Okay. Those two things.
Yeah.
Now name another organ. Follow your
brain.
It feels weird, right?
It's a little off.
Both are organs though.
Yeah, they are.
And like dreams are never associated with the brain. So it's like when I like feel something, I don't feel it here. This is going to, my brain is going to tell me, okay, this guy's on the come up. How many views does he get? Or like, oh no, he's doing all right. But I mean, it might not be Joe Rogan, but it's like, but that's all, well, that's the brain's job, right?
Sure.
I have been extremely blessed in my life to learn how to get my brain to be an employee for my heart. Usually it's a war. It's usually a war. Heart says, I want something, or I like something, or oh my goodness, that's my dream. I want that. Brain goes into this place of liking it first. Brain's like, that's a great idea. But
there it is. Yeah.
And then there's like this, there's this place called the Valley of Reality. And that's where like most everything dies. And it's because of the brain. Brain says, nah. What about if this happens? Okay, we need to be smart about this. And let me like connect dots based upon my current knowledge. Nothing to deal with the future. Brain doesn't even know what the future is. Brain only can think about the past or how to size somebody up or something up or a dream up. So I've just been very blessed to be able to get my brain to be like, heart, you know what you're doing. I'm here to work for you. Because when the brain takes the lead, man, it really messes some stuff up.
Gets crowded up there with a lot of thoughts. It gets really loud too. Yeah. I mean, from one overthinker to whoever else is listening out there that can understand that. That's the pitfall. But I think there's also something ironically based on like the IMU theory that you gave. This kind of ties right into it, but there was something very inspiring in seeing you and your come up and what you did, because you literally started in your mom's basement as a kid, like underdog, and you just loved one thing above all, which was music. And you're like, I love hip hop music, so I'm going to f with this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people out there, when I'll talk with people who are trying to start something, whether it's a podcast, a YouTube channel, or, some new endeavor, their brain kind of comes right in and starts in the conversation being like, well, what if I can't have this? Or, well, I've thought about this and I don't know if I could be able to do that. And yet I go back to when I first started to do this, and I know it's the same way when you were a kid starting to do what you did. It's like, you just didn't think about it. You're like, I f with this. That's what I want. That's what I love. I'm going to go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's delusional, then I love being delusional.
Delusional is amazing, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Let me tell you, man. Being delusional, like I'm a delusional optimist. So like if I were starting a podcast, let's say, for example, I would go into it and be like, okay, who's the biggest in the world? Oh, wow, there's a lot of big podcasts. It might be easy. I actually do this all the time. I always go to like, it's easy. It's kind of like a little like life hack or like theory I have. And I always just need proof that it's easy.
Hey guys, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It is the #1 thing that we need to get our videos into the algorithm. So I appreciate all of you who have been doing that, and all of you who are going to do so now. Enjoy this episode.
And I'm like, so I get to talk on a microphone, have really interesting conversations. And I get to like learn how to like edit a video. And if it goes viral, then I'll get more listeners. So I just need to get really good at like talking and editing. I'm like, okay, that sounds pretty easy. How long did it take for like this podcast to blow up or this podcast to blow up? Okay, that's it. Like, that's really not that bad. And then I actually show up because I believe it's going to be easy versus the brain takes over. Yes. Well, how am I going to get my first guest? Or like, who's going to like set up the lighting? And like, oh, I don't know how to edit. And then now I didn't even start a podcast at that point. I'm done. I quit. Valley of Reality took me out the game because you start thinking it's hard. Yeah. And the reality is it is hard.
Do you think some of that has to do with subconsciously you're thinking about the time, right? When you're thinking about a task and something that's hard, a lot of the reasons that it's hard is not because it's like rocket science or something like that. It's hard because it's like you start thinking about, oh, how long will it take me to figure that out or learn how to do this thing that then allows me to just do the baseline to get better at that thing over time, which takes how much more time, right? Like you start like almost quantifying in your head time as the ultimate barrier to what you want to get.
I'm gonna just tell you a story. Okay. I'm in the music business. I'm managing some of the biggest artists in hip hop. I'm 300 pounds and I'm at 2 Chainz' house. And it's Grammy week. And we're most likely about to win our very first Grammy. We were nominated for 5 Grammys. I have the biggest studio in Atlanta with my business partners called Street Execs. I had amazing business partners, Tech and Al. I have 5 of the biggest artists in hip hop. I remember Atlanta's radio station, Hot 107.9, did the top 7 at 7. And I had 6 out of the 7 songs. Like I was like this chubby little white kid from Atlanta who had a dream, and like I became like the king, I guess, of sorts, as like a manager. Yeah. And I'm at 2 Chainz' house, and I reached down in the closet to pick up some socks. I was staying in his guest bedroom at the time, and I passed out. When I got up, I could not stop the room from spinning. I'm going to say this, for 4 days. I wasn't in the closet for 4 days, but I couldn't get the world to stop spinning for 4 days. Come to find out, I'm diagnosed with a brain tumor. In my entire life, I was always 1 + 1 = 2 when it comes to business. That's if I do this, I will get this. And my mom, she would always say to me, like in my success, she's like, make sure you put God first and thank him for this. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. And I would be honest with her. I was like, I passed out those CDs every night at 4 a.m. Even when we have the number 2 song in the country, I'm outside the club in my suit at 4 a.m. passing out the CDs. I'm like, if I do this, I will get this. 1 + 1 = 2. Here I am, sick with a brain tumor, 300 pounds in the music industry. And I close my eyes and I would see my dream. The dream I buried.
Buried.
I buried it when I was a kid.
Your brain buried it?
My brain buried it because it didn't make any sense. As a kid, I was chubby, I was short, and I was slow. But what was my dream? I wanted to be an athlete. You get to that age, you need something to be good at for girls to like you. Duh. Like, I'm not making the team. So I buried a dream because I needed something to be good at. Simple. And so I went into business. So here I am, sick with a brain tumor, close my eyes and I see my dream. And I look at my life as if it was a movie. I actually saw like a screen in a theater. And I said, here's a really good kid named Charlie. He buried a dream. He went on to be a businessman and make a lot of money and make a lot of really good things happen. And he gets sick and he dies. And I said, that has a terrible Rotten Tomato score. Like that movie. I'm like, that's like a 19. It's like one of those like embarrassing Rotten Tomato scores. So I asked myself, and I'm very sad and depressed at this time. Scared, really. I'm laughing about it now, but my brain knows how to like erase a lot of pain.
This is 2017?
This is 2017. Impressive.
I remember. You've told
Impressive.
that story. Not this exact story, but you've told like when it happened.
Stalker vibes. Okay.
It's all right, bro. It's in there.
Okay, so I said, what would make a good story? What if I lived a good story? That'd be a good Rotten Tomato score. And so I started asking myself questions. Well, what if I left the music industry? And what if I went and chased my dream of being an athlete? Brain kicks in. Come on, Charlie. How are you going to make money? Heart says, if I'm going to die, I need to know what it's like being an athlete. Brain kicks in and be like, you need to be realistic. You're not going to play for the Lakers. You're not going to be in the Olympics. We're talking about you're going on a jog. I was like, heart says, no, like when I was a kid, I was 8 years old. I wanted to be an athlete. My favorite company was Nike. The first stock I ever bought was Nike. Like I love Nike. Michael Jordan. I would read every book. No, for real. I had a choice of wearing Asics today. And I put on the Nikes because I was like, it's good juju. It's good freaking juju. I love Nike. So my heart started taking over. And I was like, what if it's easy? Okay? This is where the delusional optimism comes in. And it's like, what if I left the music industry? What if I went and did the most difficult thing I had ever done? What if I did an Ironman? And what if I lost weight? And what if I become a really big inspiration? What if Nike actually needs somebody like me more than they need just another person who runs fast? What if I made a fan-made Nike commercial and it was like the most inspiring Nike commercial ever? What if Nike sees it? And what if Nike signs me? And what if my dream came true? And what if that inspired like millions and millions and millions of people to like maybe take that leap?
It's official. The holidays are around the corner. That means lights, gifts, and get-togethers. And you know what the best gift for the smelly people in your life is? Deodorant. And you know which deodorant's the best gift this Christmas? Mando. And just why is Mando the MVP of deodorant? Well, for one thing, it's clinically proven to have 72-hour odor control. It's also safe for the whole body, pits, package, feet, and everything in between. And most deodorants are trying to cover up for what's already there. Mando stops odor before it starts. Now, Mando comes in spray, stick, or cream. Personally, I like the stick. It's familiar, and it just happens to be better than the old stuff I used. And Mando is also available in 4 cologne-quality scents: Bourbon Leather, Mount Fuji, Pro Sport, and Clover Woods. If you're a more rugged man, think Bourbon Leather. If you're someone who's always on the mood, think Pro Sport. I've told you, my number one thing with deodorant is I want to make sure when I put it on, I don't have to worry about it running out later and me smelling. With Mando, I know once I got that in the morning, I'm good to go as someone who's always on the move. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers or even just to secure some last-minute stocking stuffers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, and free shipping. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers are going to get 20% off site-wide using our exclusive code. So use code Julian at shopmando.com. That link is in my description below for 20% off and free shipping. That's shopmando.com using code Julian for 20% off. Also, please support our show and tell them we sent you. Mando's got you covered. With deodorant plus sweat control, say goodbye to sweat stains and hello to long-lasting freshness. Finally, don't let the meat sweats get you this holiday season. Your family and friends will thank you.
And allow their heart to drive and not their mind. And I kind of brainwashed myself. Now, brainwash sounds like a really bad thing. But like, if I were to ask you a question, Julian, if your hands are dirty, what are you going to do?
Wash them off.
Okay, so why is brainwashing a bad thing?
It depends on the context. I see exactly what you're saying.
If my brain is dirty with negative thoughts, thinking this is not possible, what's the right thing to do?
Clean it off.
Clean it off. And so like I literally brainwashed myself and I got my brain basically working for my heart. And I was like, no, we're going to do this.
How'd you do that? And how long did that take to do that?
To do what?
To actually brainwash yourself.
Oh, it's a couple days.
Couple days.
Yeah, it's a couple days.
Wow.
Because the second I can see something, I believe it. My eyes don't have to be open to see. But if you're sitting in the dark and you can't see anything, you just sit there until you see something because it is there. Like literally, like if you were to close your eyes right now, you might not see anything. You sit there long enough, you will start seeing things. And I kept seeing this commercial with LeBron James and Serena Williams. And I literally believed it. And I went to my artists. I went to my business partners. And I told them what I was going to do.
How old are you at this time?
29.
You're young as hell.
Young
you're
as
like
hell.
a star in your business.
Yep.
You're making a lot of money.
A lot of money.
And you're like, I'm ready to.
Just like Andre 3000. I'm just walk away on top. I'm just going to walk away and go live an interesting life that would have a good Rotten Tomatoes score. Because more money does not mean the movie's going to be good. It's actually like, we're just going to make more money, but like you are sick and you're going to die. No. So I left. And everybody was wondering, is Charlie okay? Like, we know he's sick. But he's sitting here talking about he's going to be a Nike athlete. And I would like speak it to everybody I had a chance to speak it with. And I would say it in a way I wouldn't even let people have an opinion. They would probably have opinions when they're not talking directly to me. But you know how they say, I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to jinx it.
Yeah.
And then you know how like they'll say like, oh, like I'm just going to like go into hiding. I'm going to pop out. Like, and it's like, I'm not even going to tell anybody. No more talk. I'm just going to do it. I was the opposite.
You spoke it into existence.
Well, not just spoke it. Like there's like this process I have in like my like delusional optimism and like me brainwashing myself into believing something's going to be easy. Because at this time, I'm not looking for any hard path. I'm like, training for the Olympics might take 8 years. That sounds hard. I'm not going to do that. I was like, I'm going to find the easiest path for my dream. And it's going to be easy. But what I do is I tell everybody what I'm going to do. I remember I told this doctor, okay, I'm going into the doctor's office and I'm extremely overweight. And I told the doctor, well, one, he says, you got to get this under control.
This is after you're diagnosed with a brain tumor.
Yes, you got to get this weight under control. At the time, I was a binge eater. I would eat 15,000 calories in a night. I was addicted to food, and it controlled my life.
Was that something that you'd struggled with since being a kid?
Absolutely, because I had been on a diet since I was 8. I was always trying to be an athlete, so I needed to be on a diet. But I would like restrict my food, and then what would happen if you like held your breath for like 2 minutes?
Eventually, you breathe really hard.
That was me with food. And so like I knew no difference to like restrict, binge. And it got to this like really dark place where it would restrict so much that I would binge to the point where I would try to make myself sick. I would go from one gas station that had like Mrs. Fields cookies to another gas station that would have like Krispy Kreme donuts. And then I would drive to another gas station that had like the ice cream sandwiches with the Mrs. Fields cookies, like the 2 cookies on both sides. And then I would drive to Wendy's and I would like be like, okay, I've messed up on my diet. I'm just going to make myself so sick that I'm never going to want to do this again. Like I'm going to overdose intentionally to inspire me to be like, this is the last time I'm ever doing this. And I remember I went to Wendy's, and the lady, she would see me every day. She was a big lady who worked at the drive-thru. And she saw me one night and she said, you got to stop coming here. And she's like my friend, but I had never had anybody at a business tell me something so like stark. And I was like, what are you talking about? She said, you're going to kill yourself. And I was like kind of like taken back. I'm like who are you to tell me, but like I'm embarrassed because when I would binge, I would always do it in hiding. I'd never go to a restaurant. I would be in my car. I'll go to the gas station. I eat in my car. And there was this one day I get the Wendy's. I'm sitting in my car. And my best friend, she calls me. And she said, where are you at? I was like, I'm at the studio. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting in my car, just frosty, 2 or 3 Baconators, like making myself sick. And I see a black Dodge Charger pull into the Wendy's parking lot. And she drives a black Dodge Charger. But I'm like, it's Atlanta. There's 1,000 black Dodge Chargers. There's 1,000,000 black Dodge Chargers. And the black Dodge Charger drives around the Wendy's, pulls up, parks right beside me. And she rolls down the window and I'm like, fuck, it's my best friend, Tasia. And she looks at me and she's like, we got to get you help. Like it was like that. She would catch me digging in the trash can in the middle of the night because I would see like she would go out, come back with macaroni and cheese, eat some of it. It was still in the to-go box. And she would throw it away. And I would see that there was still some macaroni and cheese left. And so she would like catch me digging in the trash can. Like it was a sickness that I had. So
do you think it's because, I'm just curious here because you said it came from when you were a little kid. Do you think that emanated from maybe spending a lot of time alone and that was like a joy you had that you'd be able to eat or something like that? Like what did that come from, you think?
When I learned how to make a sandwich, I started eating too much. When I got to the height where I can make a sandwich, it was peanut butter and jelly, it was mayonnaise and turkey, and it was like I liked it. It was good. But I loved sports. So I would train and train and train. But then I'd eat and eat and eat. And then I would diet and restrict. And then the balance of that is eat and then diet, restrict. It was just a vicious cycle. So I'm at the doctor's. And he said, you got to get this under control. And this is about the 4th person who has told me this. Because when you're overweight, it's very rare that people ever are honest with you. I'm talking about so extremely rare. my artist Quez from Travis Porter, this lady from Wendy's, my best friend Tasia, and this doctor. He said, you are out of control. And I told him what I was going to do. Abracadabra style. Like I always speak things. Abracadabra means as I speak, I create. And that's always been a secret of my success in the music industry. Anything I've ever done, I say what I'm going to do to everybody I get an opportunity to. And I said, in 10 months, I'm going to do an Ironman. And he said, son, he's like an older gentleman. He said, son, you need to set realistic goals because you're just going to let yourself down. And I said, excuse me? He said, if you set a small goal, it'll be easier for you not to disappoint yourself. I said, first of all, please don't ever tell me to be realistic. Second of all, it's going to be easy. He said, what? I said, I'm going to do an Ironman, and I'm going to do it in 10 months. And I'm going to just train like an 8-year-old would. Because I looked up the Ironman training schedule, and it was so freaking complex, bro. It was like swim this many laps at this heart rate, and then at this stroke, and then bike at this heart rate for this long. I was like, whoa. I'm not doing none of that. I went to the bottom of the page, and it said 2 hours every single day of training. And so I was like 14 hours. Okay, when I was 8, and I went on a bike ride on a Saturday with my friends. We biked for a couple hours. Okay, that's Ironman training. Okay, we're swimming at the pool for a couple hours. That's nothing. A couple hours? Okay, 8-year-old, that's Ironman training. And we're running for a couple hours? What? Bro, like running around the park as a kid or playing basketball all day long. We're not talking about 2 hours. We're talking about 8-9 hours of playing. That's Ironman training. I said, I'm going to train like an 8-year-old. And I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to play, and I'm going to do an Ironman. And I'm going to lose all this weight. And he said, son, you need to be realistic. A year and a half later, I walk in his doctor's office, and what is on his lobby table?
A magazine cover with you on it doing the Ironman.
Runner's World magazine.
There you go.
And I picked it up, and I walked in, and I showed it to him. And he said, son, I always knew you were special. I was like, thank you for always believing in me.
At least he was a good sport about it. That's funny as shit. What's it? I mean, it's amazing that you did something like that. And obviously along the way also got yourself healthier and lost a lot of weight. And I want to talk about like what ended up happening with the brain tumor. But even before that, like this visit with the doctors, after you've been diagnosed, you've been, I think you said you went to like 4 different doctors or something. Like when you go to the first one though, after you pass out in there at 2 Chainz's house and everything's spinning, you're like, what the fuck is wrong? And they put you in the fucking machine and they're like, oh my God, you have a brain tumor. Here it is on the MRI. What is that moment like?
Well, for me, it was a not again moment. When I was 17, my childhood was like half paralyzed underneath my bed.
Paralyzed underneath your bed?
Swear to God. I'm talking about under my bed with pillows surrounding the bed. No light, no sound. Because for 5 years straight, when I would get done eating lunch at school, I would get the most god-awful migraines ever. It went on so long, and I'm going to a doctor, and they give me migraine medicine. People have migraines. That's a thing. So I take the medicine. I'm like, it's not working. Every year, progressively, the migraines got worse. Now, what also happened every year, you said on the phone, you said I'm a pattern like identifier.
Yes.
I identified a couple patterns. 1, I'd eat really unhealthy at school. 2, I was running businesses in high school. the more stress I had and the more I ate unhealthy, the more imbalance of my pituitary gland and the hormones. And it grew a brain tumor that was so big, and it was putting pressure on my eye. It was wrapped around like the artery going into my brain, restricting the blood flow into my brain. That if I walked upstairs at school, I would get to the top and have this like shock in my brain. And I guess it was from the lack of blood flow. I remember this one time, like in my backyard, there was this guy walking past my window. He was working with my dad on the yard, and it scared the living crap out of me that he was like outside my window. I'm like, boogeyman. And it gave me like a 2-minute, like, I'm not going to say seizure, but a paralyzed where I couldn't move because of the lack of blood. So I was first diagnosed at age 17. They gave me medication, went away. I'm doing great until 27, 28 years old. So I knew. And so it was like, oh, wow, not again. The difference this time, medication wasn't working. They kept upping my medication. And to a place where it was like 4 times the amount to try to get my levels. And it started affecting my heart valves. That's a side effect of this medication at too high of a dosage. And so this is when I asked the doctors, I'm like, does this have anything to do with how I eat? And does this have anything to do with like me being stressed? I had just lost one of my artists, Bankroll Fresh, got shot and killed. Rest in peace, Bankroll Fresh. And there was a lot of like violence at our studio, and like our empire grew so big that it kind of like had some issues, you know. There was just a lot going on violence-wise. And another one of my artists was getting shot at several times, and the studio was on the news, and I was on the news because I didn't want to be one of those owners that's like no comment when I'm walking out of the studio. I was like, I'll come talk to y'all, you know. Well, I'll go get crucified in front of the, you know, neighborhood association meeting because people's houses have bullets in them behind our studio because there's so many bullets flying. So there was a lot of stress, and I was very unhealthy. And so I asked the doctors, I said, how much of this has to do with like my food and my stress? And they said, no, just a certain percentage of people get this type of tumor, and it's usually easily managed. And
so it's not, is it cancerous?
No, it's not cancer.
It's not cancerous.
It's just mine was, I guess, just out of control. I guess I've lived a much more extreme life than most people. And for me, it was just a recipe for it being extremely invasive through my brain. I mean, it was there for so long, it started corroding the top of my spine. Like it just sat on it. So long story short, I kind of took things into my own hands. And I was like, I'm going to go learn everything there is about health if I'm going to achieve my dream. And I went to a longevity center in Florida for 2 months. And it's just all old people there. And I loved it. I walked away from the music business, and I'm in a old folks longevity center. And I even took one of the guys to the strip club. Like we snuck out. I swear to God. We snuck out. And apparently word spreads really fast with the old ladies. And when we walked in for breakfast the next morning, the little old ladies, I'll never forget, because I never heard it called this. They were like, I heard you went to the girly club. And I was like,
well, you know, women, they never stop gossiping.
But long story short, I had a blast, learned everything about health, and I was on my way. I solved my food addiction. I started eating living food.
You solved your food addiction.
Absolutely.
How did you do that?
Brother, it was quite simple.
Simple.
It was not complicated. One, I need to be full. Rule number 1, I am not restricting ever again. I need the top of my stomach to fill up. So I learned a simple philosophy at this place, and the place is called Pritikin. And they said that if I eat a pound of strawberries, which is like this much, a pound of strawberries, heaping, it's 150 calories. And they're like, well, when you're cooking your chicken over there and you're cooking with oil, just a little bit of oil in the bottom of the pan that you're using on the chicken and then on the vegetables, you think you're eating healthy, just the oil is 150 calories. And is that hitting the top of your stomach? Little bit of oil? No, it's hardly coating the bottom of my stomach.
That's right.
The goal is to be full. When I learned that a baked potato, I could eat like 7 baked potatoes for the same amount of calories as like a big old bag of chips. I'm like, I could down a bag of chips like it's nothing. But I can't even eat 7 baked potatoes. And it's like, just put salsa on it. I'm like, salsa is actually pretty good, like on a baked potato. So I just replaced with the most lowest calorie dense food on planet Earth. And there's like I would just search Google, how many calories are in a pound of oil? 4,000 calories per pound of oil. How many calories are in a pound of sweet potatoes? 250. And I'm just like, I'm going to eat those foods and I'm going to always be full. Now, what did all those foods have in common? They're like living real foods, like not touched by a machine. They're like, it's just like God grew them.
Ain't that funny?
Mm-hmm.
How that works?
Right.
It's like we evolved backwards.
Right.
Started using the machines and putting all kinds of shit in us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did that, like, you hadn't eaten a lot of foods like that before. I mean, the places you were describing earlier, the direct opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a jump there from going from being used to like the taste of, you know, sweet processed foods to natural foods that when we're kids we're kind of wired in a weird way by society to be like, oh, the natural food isn't the treat is the thing with sugar, so we think that this is like, oh, we got to, whereas this is like we want to.
This is why I appreciate rock bottom so much, because it really makes everything easy. Like I always say, like, Santa Claus delivers the presents in the dark. That's the delusional optimism in me. And it's like, if I'm in a really bad place, it's so easy to have motivation to do something very difficult. And so, like, I went like plant-based. I changed how I ate. I started training for an Ironman. And if you ask me, it was freaking easy. I had an amazing purpose. So I'm never mad at rock bottom. I'm like actually grateful. If something bad happens to me, I'm like, there's always a gift in this. I've actually never had anything bad happen to me.
You never had anything bad happen to you?
How? I had a brain tumor. Okay, it made me a Nike athlete. I got fired from being Soulja Boy's cameraman. Okay, I'm going to be the biggest manager in hip-hop at the time. Like, my girlfriend broke up with me. Like, she kind of was toxic. Like, appreciating her.
Yeah, I was going to say, you found a better one now.
I found a way better one. So it's like, what actually bad has ever happened to me? Please tell me. Like, my grandfather died of cancer. I swear to God, he guides me and is an angel. Like, literally, he's with me every day, guiding me, like giving me so many blessings. Like, I'm trying to carry on his name and legacy. Like, he's still here with me. Okay. Like, my grandmother died. I swear to God, I found the reincarnation of her. It's my girlfriend, the sweetest girl. My grandmother was the sweetest lady. And it's like, okay, my grandmother sent me her. Like, I've never had something bad happen to me. Now, when bad stuff does happen to me, I do throw my tantrum, and I am human. Let's be very, very clear. I'm extremely emotional. Y'all could probably look at me and see I'm an emotional guy. So, like, I'm not this, like, rainbows and butterflies.
I got you.
I am rainbows and butterflies. It's just, if I'm in the shit, I'm pissed, frustrated, sometimes punching a pillow, sometimes punching a steering wheel. And then I'm like, this isn't fun. It's just not fun. And most of us get caught in this perpetual vortex loop of thinking about the bad things. And it's replaying this really bad fucking song. And who wants to replay a bad song? I'm not a hater on anybody, but I heard like a Lady Gaga song the other day, and it was really bad. And I'm like, I would never play that again. Like, please, I would pay you not to play that song. And I think she's an amazing artist. So sorry, Lady Gaga. It was just a bad song. We all make bad songs.
Yeah.
But why would I ever play that? So it's like when something bad is happening in my life, usually it's a loop of like thinking about the negativity of that person or that thing. And people get stuck there for lifetimes.
They do.
And I'm like, I don't want to play a bad song. Let me turn that off. What's a good song?
Hey guys, if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It's a huge, huge help.
Thank you.
So you kind of answered a question I was going to ask, but I want to make sure I understand. When something does happen that, you know, if we were looking at it 30,000 feet in the air, not you, just objectively, it's like, well, that's not a positive, right?
Yeah.
In the moment, you react the way you react. You're mad, maybe you're sad, whatever it may be, upset, annoyed. But then once you release that energy, you place that energy in a box and push it down the fucking river. And now you look at this thing and be like, well, I can't change what happened, but here's actually what it can do for me moving forward, which is what I can actually affect and change for the better.
This is my thing. Well, for one, you nailed it. But this is my thing. I'm on a
winning streak.
Okay. If I'm losing, I have to find the win in it if I'm going to keep my winning streak going. All right. Who's your favorite sports team?
Ooh, I think that's so hard because I like all the sports. Eagles gun to my head.
Yeah. Eagles.
Yeah.
Eagles won 11 in a row. What are you thinking about?
Don't lose.
What else are you thinking about? 12.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. But you see what I said? Don't lose.
Yeah.
You see where the mentality is? It's like, fuck, we're doing so well. We're going to fuck this up.
You're at this elevation that you think you could fall, or it could just be like, we're going to 12. So if I'm on a winning streak, okay, I'm winning. I woke up this morning. I'm on your podcast. I'm in New Jersey, which I actually think I like New Jersey better than New York. New Jersey's nice. You get a backyard. I like New Jersey. Dog has a
like this guy. He can stay. He's
Dog
good.
has a little place to take a shit, scratch the dirt in New Jersey.
Right.
New Jersey is a win, okay? So it's like I got this beautiful cup of coffee, right? I got a hot girlfriend. She's amazing. My mom's alive. My dad's alive. Like, this is a blessing. I'm going to Turks and Caicos. I'm on a winning streak. Let's just be very clear. I'm on a winning streak. Let's say something bad happened to me. Does it end the winning streak? It could.
If you let it.
I have to find the win in it. The second I find a win in it, now we're at 12. We got to 12. So it's like a loss is like a lesson learned. What's that?
A W.
2 L's make a W, baby. I can't lose. They might think I'm crazy, but this is just a much better way to live. It's fun, okay? Some people are going to roll their eyes. Some people hate my... They think my positivity is like toxic.
They
and
think
they have,
it's not real, but it is, dude.
Well,
it is.
if you ask me why, I just be like, I just want to have fun. Losing is not fun. We go to Vegas, all right? Me, you, and your boy. All right. What's your name? Joey. Me, you, and Joey. We're in Vegas together, right? I'm playing blackjack on this table. Joey's playing blackjack on that table. You're just hanging out right now. You're like, I'm not. Okay. I'm over here.
That sounds right.
Okay. So I'm over here playing my blackjack. Or you know what? I'm playing craps. What scene in the movie? I'm playing craps. Boom. I won. Hey! I gave a little cheer. And then boom. I hit it again. Hey! And then a couple other people, I hit it again. Boom! 3 in a row. Now it's like people start gathering around. Okay? Now it's like this attractive pull because everybody wants to be around a winner. Boom, I've hit 7, 8 in a row. And it's like cheering and people are like, oh! And then I'm like, ah! Yeah! You can see it, right? And then your boy Joey's over at the other one. He lost. Damn. All right, let me pull out the money. Lost. Lost again. Is a crowd gathering around our boy Joey? Actually, are people allergic?
They're allergic.
They're like, I need to get far away from this
Marty Mush
dark cloud named Joey. But this guy's over here, pass me the magic. I just need to be around the magic. So winning has this gravitational pull of like mass. It's like you think about like the sun, right? It has all this energy and it's so big, it actually attracts all this amazing stuff like Earth and Saturn. If it didn't have this like mass of energy, it wouldn't attract anything, right? He's like a dead star that has like collapsed, and guess what that is? A black fucking hole, okay? Now that attracts shit too, but it's going to attract some negative shit and we're all fucking dying, okay? Yeah. That is the choice we have to make. What is fun? Who do you want to be right now in this situation in Las Vegas, I want to be the winner. So I'm going to wake up and I'm going to choose to win. And that doesn't mean a whole bunch of stuff has to happen for me. That means I'm going to appreciate all the things that are going on in my life. And I am grateful for them. I do not need the Lamborghini and I do not need the $20 million house. I needed my cup of coffee to be happy. I needed my mom to be alive to be happy. I'm on a fucking winning streak. And when you win, you keep winning. And when you lose, which is very easy to look at all the things going wrong, even just comparing yourself to other people will make you feel like a loser.
Sure.
You see what you're looking at. So people ask, why are you so freaking positive? It's simple. I just want to have fun. It's not that deep. And fun is a choice.
How do you make that switch though so fast? How do you let that emotion out and then get right there? Because like that example you gave, it's hilarious and it's funny too, right? Like the black hole over here. And I love how you're like, what's your name? Joey. All right, you're a black fucking hole. I'm the good guy. But
sorry, like, Joey. My bad, big dog.
But like when you're over here, yes, in that scenario, you won 4 in a row.
Yeah.
The vibe though, when on the third one instead you lose.
I want me to tell you the story?
Like, right,
bro, you know I got a story for this.
I'm sure you do.
Check this out. I'm in.
Like getting ready.
No, for real. No, okay. I'm in Miami. True story. I put it on my grandfather's jiddy. Okay? You know if I put it on my grandfather, it's real deal.
Yeah, it's some real shit, bro.
I wake up in the morning and I scream these words. Wheel of Fortune. And the rest of the day, I said these words, Wheel of Fortune, 500 times. So much, my girlfriend and my best friend Langford are like, shut the fuck up. And we're just in Miami having a good time, but I was channeling this energy that I'm winning. Okay, when you play the slot machine, Wheel of Fortune hits, you're going to win some money. I'm winning. Wheel of Fortune. I'm just saying it all day, every day, almost to the point I'm trying to get on their nerves. Okay? We're out helping some people. We're doing our little nonprofit thing.
We'll talk about that. Yeah. It's good shit.
And then we're done. And since we're in Miami, what's just 40 minutes away?
The strip club?
There is a strip club, but
it's
no.
less than 40 minutes, but...
But no. The Hard Rock Casino.
Oh, in Fort Lickerdale.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
And so I told my girl, I told my best friend, I was like, let's go. I've been saying Wheel of Fortune all day. I had no intentions to go to the casino, but I'm like, let's go. I'm feeling lucky. We go. Now, this is where it proves your point. I pull out my limit from the ATM, $500. That's my limit. Okay? Pull out my $500, like, let's go have some fun. Pop it into the Wheel of Fortune, you know, the $10 push. The $10 push, okay? I pop it in. Lost. I'm down to $200. What do I tell my girlfriend? I said, I know why I'm losing. This is the regular machine. We need to go to the high stakes machine because when I win, it's going to be big. I just lost. I looked at it as a gift. True story.
I think the casino manager looked at it as a gift too.
So I pull out my little piece of paper voucher for $200. And I say, we're going to the high stakes. Let's see if they have a Wheel of Fortune in there. But you know, that's $100 spend. That's not a $10 spend.
Oh.
$100 spend.
The old ladies aren't on that one. Japanese guys.
I pop in my voucher. Wheel of Fortune! Gold spin! 10x! $16,000 fucking dollars. You should have seen the look on their faces.
I think Neve just got some PTSD.
We have a video.
She looked like she was back at Nam.
I deserved better than the regular machine. I needed the bigger machine because I believe that I am see, I'm very pronoid. Pronoid. There's two ways to be. There's a paranoid and a pronoid. Paranoid, the universe is conspiring against me. Pronoid, universe is conspiring for me.
Oh, wow.
I'm not losing. I'm supposed to go to the big machine. Why am I doing this? Because it's more fun. It's not deep. This is not mental health in my mind. This is not some deep psychology, NLP, none of that. This is just called fun. I just want to have fun in this one life I was given. So if I'm losing, I'm just going to look for a silver lining. I'm going to try to make it into a winning streak. But there's a couple lessons in this. One, I'm losing. I'm supposed to have something bigger. The second lesson, abracadabra. I said Wheel of Fortune 500 times in a day. Of course I hit the jackpot. My girl and my best friend looked at me like, do you have some magical wizard powers? I'm like, yes, I do. It's called spelling. As I speak, I create. That's what magic is, right? Abracadabra. That's what Aramaic origin of the word abracadabra means. As I speak, I create. And our words are like a wand. Words are called, like you spell words. So it's spelling. You cast spells.
Who just said that? Someone just said that in the studio. Who the fuck just said that? Was that Chris who said that? It was Chris. We were at dinner. He's a world-class magician. Chris Ramsey. He's like, what is spelling? It's casting a spell.
Amen.
Just got shakes, man.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I said Wheel of Fortune 500 times. I won the jackpot. I took my girl to Turks and Caicos a couple of days later, and it paid for the whole trip. It was great. It was her birthday. Like, true story. Now, I have a losing version of this.
Oh, no.
Last week, I was feeling lucky. I go to the ATM, and I pull out my limit, 500. I'm not at a casino. I buy my lottery tickets. There was a lottery that had a $40 million prize, $150 million prize, and $400 million prize. I bought $500 worth of lottery tickets.
Wow.
I lost all of them. I lost on each and every one. But I was so sure I was going to win. Let me tell you what I did the night before. I went to open houses.
Oh, no.
No, this is how you win. Like that. Like, listen, I got to point to this story. I go to open houses. I put this on Jiddy. This is a true story. Okay. Go to open house. I found my dream house. And I told my girl, when I win this ticket tonight at 7:45, I'm going to know that I won. And I'm going to call the realtor and I'm going to tell her I want to move in tonight. I'll letter of intent. But give me the keys right now. Here's my lottery ticket. Proof I won. I'm ready to move in tonight. But this is what's delusionally going through my brain. Okay? I'm making plans. Want me to tell you what I saved the realtor's number in my phone as? This is what, you know what? This is where I'm going to lose people because people are going to be like, this dude might be too far out for me. You know what? It freaking works. I've done a lot of things in my life. I've won Grammys. I've won Emmys. I was a music manager. I'm a keynote speaker. I built one of the biggest nonprofits on the internet. I have 9 million followers. I was a shy, antisocial kid who just was behind the camera. I was Soulja Boy's cameraman. I've done anything I've ever wanted to in my life because of this. And so when I move into this house, it'll make for a cool story on part 2. So let me tell you what it's done. Okay, so I saved the realtor's name in my phone as Brown Realtor Malibu, my house on Selfridge Road. It's done! ! It's easy! ! That's how I saved her known in my phone. So I'm looking at it like I'm gonna win this lottery ticket. I'm gonna call her at 7:46, tell her I won and I want to move in right now, and then I'll obviously have the money in a couple weeks when the lottery gives me the money. I didn't win. Okay. But what happened this week, the same week, I got a download and I wrote a business plan that's so cold and I was able to reverse engineer the numbers to be like 30 million. Like it was like a guy even flew in. Like I was in the energy. Guy flew in. And we're working on a business that's one of my smartest and the biggest business I've ever built in my life. And I thought to myself, holy shit, I actually did win the lottery this week. It was just in a different form. I actually did. It was just not how I expected it. But this is my thought process. Why do I do this? It's fun. Yeah. It's just more fun.
It attracts energy for sure.
And when I move in that house, it'll just be another one of those Jim Carrey stories. And then that's what people actually need to know stuff is possible. They just need that to exist. So I actually believe that God wants this to happen to me so that it can help other people know that this is a cool way of living life.
You know, there's a piece of me that used to look at, let's say, over manifestation, or people that tried to just solve all their problems with saying nice things out loud or whatever. Many times, by the way, and this needs to be said, they were people who would say those things as if that were the end all be all, and then not actually do things to make those things happen, right? I think a clear distinction with a guy like you, if you look at your entire life, is that you're a doer. Yes, you say these things, you talk these things out loud, you have this attitude, you have a positive bend on things, you set expectations of the universe for you so that it's, you know, rather than paranoid, it's pronoid, and it's working for you. That's great. But you go and you put the work in and you make it happen, and there's proof in the pudding. But there was a study that I saw not too long ago, because I had been like changing my mind on some of the energy around you, right? Not to get too woo-woo, but I'm like, yes, you have to go do like a Charlie.
Absolutely.
But there really is something to saying things, how you talk to yourself, how you talk to the things around you. And there was a doctor named, I believe it was Masaru Emoto, who came up with a study. I don't even remember how the fuck he did it. But he essentially found that the way one group of people talk to themselves versus the way another group of people talk to themselves or talk to the world around them, one being negative and one being positive, created a massive V in their outcomes, because the study showed that down to the cellular level, and it's going to get above my pay grade here exactly how this happened, but down to the cellular level in their body, it changed how they physically reacted to the environment around them so they could perform at a higher level and potentially make those things happen. So when I see things like that, and then I combine that with a lot of different other neuro experts who talk about putting words into the universe and attitudes into the universe, and how your brain is directly tied in your language to like the heart, and what the heart wants or says you can get that the brain tries to shut down, I'm like, holy shit. It really is all there within us. It has to do with how we have to just rewire ourselves to be on the right path rather than the path that says, I can't.
I have a story for you.
Please share it.
But I need to use the restroom first.
All right. We'll be right back.
Can I use this one?
Yeah. Anything.
I'm going crazy.
You can go crazy. We have multiple
I actually
angles
think
on
this
you.
is going to end up being like my Bible episode.
You're doing pretty good so far.
I just having too much fun because you understand entertainment. You got to think, I'll sit there and talk to somebody who understands self-development, or like somebody who understands like how to make YouTube videos. I'm talking to somebody who understands entertainment right now. I'm having a fucking blast.
You think I'm glad you're having fun.
Bro,
you think I understand
best in the business. Why do you think I keep saying that to you?
I really, it's very humbling to hear. It's crazy when someone says something like that though, because really at the end of the day, I mean, I hope you're seeing it today. Like, I just talk with people. That's all it is. Like, you and I, you got here. Yep. We started talking in the kitchen. Like, we've talked forever. And then we just sat down and Dave said, the cameras are ready. I'm like, great. And we started talking.
That's it.
You know, that's and we're back on now, by the way.
Oh, okay.
We should have picked it up right there when he said the Bible part. All right, that was perfect. That was like, great. This is the Bible. Like, just the way you say things with a story. Like, we were talking just off camera before we started about like, Charlie's like, man, I got to figure out how to hook things and tell a story right. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, he fucking pulls his sleeves up right when he's going to start. You get all dramatic and you're like, I got a story for you. Like, if my thumb is going through the feed and like I come to a video where some guy in like a pink hat goes, let me tell you a story. I'm like, my thumb's off the screen. You got 10 seconds, go. And 10 seconds in, I'm going to stay with you. Like, you have a obviously, for you to get the guys that you got to believe in you, even when they were nothing, when 2 Chainz wasn't 2 Chainz yet, but you saw it, you knew what he was going to be, right? I want to come back to that topic, by the way, of like how you know things and people. We got off that, but like you saw what that was. He still saw a young guy, you know, maybe you're 20 years old at the time, 21 years old, whatever, you know, the self-described awkward fat kid from his mom's basement. And he's like, what does this white boy know? You know what? I believe in this guy.
Right, exactly.
And so there's something in you. There is a magnetic energy that draws people to you. And so when you talk about, oh, how do you hook a story? Number one, you already got that. Number two, that's exactly what it is. Like if you didn't know how to do that, you'd never be able to have that magnetic energy. Steve Jobs always said it, storyteller runs the world. That's why you're successful. That's why you got to where you got. Of course, a lot of hard work in that and actually understanding the industry. I don't want to discount that. But to put yourself in a position where you could even do those things, I'm telling you, without having been there as a fly on the wall in the room, that's what it was.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Now I just need to learn how to edit whatever I do. All right, story time.
Let's go.
I did it again. I'm sorry. It's not intentional.
No, it's great.
Okay.
It's great.
So
I got to get a baggy shirt like that so I can have an excuse to do that all the time. I used to have a watch I would like play with, but I don't wear that anymore. So.
All right. Slight hot take, but this has been like a thought process of mine the past week. Only a week. It's not that deep.
Brand new.
Brand new.
All right. Breaking news.
Hot take in my mind. Please, y'all don't destroy me for this. But like I am a big like manifester, obviously, but I'm a way bigger doer. Way bigger. To where I like the law of attraction, but I honestly feel like law of attraction is old school like personal computer. I believe law of delusion is like the iPhone, because I actually have a process through being delusional that actually makes you show up and do. Where law of attraction is like, let me wish, let me speak, let me write, let me vision board. But law of delusion inspires action. I'll tell you a story. I hate me now. I don't even like me now because of y'all. I just did it again. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm not trying to be dramatic. Okay. So I want to be a Nike athlete. I'm delusional enough to believe it's possible. And I'm delusional enough to believe it's easy. If you're in high school, do you want to go to the hard class? Like want.
Depended on the topic.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't like physics. It's too hard.
You and me both, bro. That's the one I was thinking of. I didn't want to do.
It's too hard. I really don't want to go.
I love it now, but
I have to go.
Yeah.
I have to go. Do I want to go? No. I have to go because if I don't fail, my mom will take the Be Good stick that's hanging on the wall and she will hold it up and be like, and I'll be like, all right, I'm going to class. No, we had a stick on the entrance of our house.
When you walk a switch down there?
No, it's called a Be Good. She wrote on it in a magic marker. It was a paint. It was just a paint.
Oh, she's not hitting you with it.
No, she would threaten. She wasn't hitting me. But it was called, like, written on it, Be Good Stick. Written on it.
They call that a paradox.
So my mom was a great mother, but she was also tough, and there was a reason why I acted so good. I didn't want to be good stick. So I have to go to the hard class. I don't want to go to the hard class. But when it comes to the easy class, I want to go. So let's go back to me being a Nike athlete. I believe it's going to be easy. In order for it to be easy, I need a path. I need to find an easy path. If I think of playing for the Lakers or going to the Olympics, I'm probably not even going to show up because I don't have an easy path. Well, what's my easy path? I'm going to do an Ironman. Well, that's not that easy. I'm going to lose weight, basically. I'm going to be an inspiration. And I'm going to make a Find My Nike commercial, and this will take me about a year. It's not going to take a lifetime. It's going to take me about a year. Make a Fan Made Nike commercial. Nike's going to see it. Nike's going to sign me. That's easy. I'm going to show up for that. So my delusion actually got me to show up. Now, I need a filmmaker an editor, somebody who can color grade, someone who can score music, someone who owns all this equipment to make me a fan-made Nike commercial. So I start calling my friends in Hollywood, and I say, what do you think this will cost? It's about $70,000. I say, I'm not spending $70,000. I could put a down payment on a house for $70,000. This is a little Instagram video. I need it to look like a Nike commercial, though. They're like, Charlie, you want it to look like a Nike commercial? Guess what Nike commercials cost?
$700,000 minimum.
So, sometimes like $200,000. But if you do it a local agency little Instagram Nike clip of like the Run Club, they're still spending a whole bunch of money on just that.
Yeah.
They said, Charlie, you need to be realistic. I said,
there it is.
3 or 4 people told me to be realistic. And so I'm actually showing up, making almost difficult phone calls because people are telling me to be realistic, but I'm actually showing up because I see this easy path. I'm going to make a fan-made Nike commercial. Nike's going to see it. Nike's going to sign me. I'm showing up in action. So I take this gentleman out to a restaurant, a vegan restaurant. He's a film producer. He knows lots of camera guys, editors, music scores, color graders. He knows all the guys. And I'm like showing up to take action. I'm taking him out to dinner. Can you introduce me to somebody who can do this for a few $1,000s? He said, Charlie, you're being ridiculous. I said, what are you talking about? He said, you need to get a bigger budget together and then call me. I said, no, I'm going to find somebody who can do this. He said, Charlie, there's not somebody who can do this. This is like a staff of 9 people. The lighting guys are 3 people. The sound guys, the color grader, the person who makes the music. There might be, like, you want Hans Zimmer strings? You want Hans Zimmer strings, Charlie? This is expensive. You can't get that off of Epidemic Sound.
No, you definitely cannot.
I said, never tell me to be realistic. I took my friend outside of the restaurant who was with me, and I was furious. And I was telling my friend, like, I said these words. I said, I'm going to find this person, and I'm going to find him tomorrow. It's like, nobody's going to tell me to be realistic. Nothing I've done my entire life has been realistic. Now, remember when I told you I get mad? The difference when I get mad, it actually doesn't lower my frequency. It actually, the way I get mad is for a very positive outcome. I'm not mad at him. I am speaking exactly what's going to happen now, and I'm speaking it with so much fire and energy. I said, I'm going to find him tomorrow. Nobody's going to tell me to be realistic. I leave the dinner meeting. I go home. I wake up the next morning. I'm in Santa Monica, California, sitting on my couch with my magical manifestation quantum possibilities notebook. And I'm writing my dreams in it. I'm going to be in a Nike commercial with LeBron James and Serena Williams. I'm going to be a Nike athlete. I'm going to be the face of Nike. Like, people ask me, do I write the same dreams every day? Damn near, like in different forms, different ways. But on
you
this
still
day,
do that every morning?
Not every morning. No. I'm not that consistent.
Okay.
I'm human.
Right.
I didn't write in my notebook this morning. But I wrote this line. Today is the day I search / found my videographer / editor is done, ! It's easy, !
No period.
It's done. It's easy. My roommate walks in the front door. My roommate should never have a cameraman following him. Ever.
Why?
He just does business development for a goji berry company that sells goji berries to Whole Foods. He is not an entertainer.
I thought you were going to say he was a Coke dealer or something.
That would be more fun. That would be fun. But
he's like,
Morgan walks in the front door, and behind him is this huge Steadicam rig guy. I'm not talking about like a little camera. I'm talking about every accessory, like the big. And I'm like, Morgan, why is a camera guy following you? Like, imagine if your boy walked in the front door and he had a camera crew behind him. You'd be like,
free to do that.
What is it? Yeah. You'd be like, what's going on? This is cool, right?
Yes.
Like,
very cool.
So I look over at this camera guy And my heart kind of like got excited and then dropped immediately.
It dropped.
Because he looked so gothic. It was like a 1999 or 2001 like rock band, black hair, black everything. And I was like, he looks kind of like a dark cloud. And so I asked him, I said, do you do videos? He said, yeah, I do videos, but nobody ever hires me. I was like, okay, he's a dark cloud. I said, can I see some of your work? I haven't updated my website in like 5 years. I'm like, everything this man's going to say is negative. And I'm over here manifesting and like dreaming and like, I'm going to be a Nike athlete. I'm colorful in my mind. And I said, all right, what's your website? Pull up my computer, go to his website. And he had a short film on there. And I was like, okay, click on it. It looked good. It looked real good. Mm-hmm. And so I said, who shot this? He said, well, I shot it. I said, whose equipment is this? Because like, this is like, it looks like a movie. He said, well, I'm kind of like a hoarder. Anytime I make money, I just buy equipment. I said, what type of equipment? He said, well, I have lighting. I have dolly tracks. I have all the C-stands. I have different anamorphic lenses. I have this. He was just like geeking out on his equipment. And I'm like, you own all of it? He said, yeah, I own all of it. I said, who made the music? Because the person who shoots usually never makes music. He said, well, I used to be in a rock band. We were on the Warped Tour, and we had a record deal, but the record label dropped us. I said, hold on. You made this music? Yeah. I said, who edited it? Because the person who shoots and who owns the equipment and who makes the music probably did not edit this. I edited it. I said, who did the color grading? He said, well, I taught myself Da Vinci. He's like, I'm like, so you did everything.
Stay there.
I said, look at my notebook. He's looking at, he's like, okay. I said, I was going to find you today. He says, okay. I said, can I hire you? He said, man, I needed a job. I applied to Hulu 2 weeks ago, but they didn't hire me. And I'm like, I kind of know why they didn't hire you. I said, can we go out to lunch? I want to tell you my idea. So we went and got some vegan burgers at this place called The Counter.
You and the vegan burgers killing me.
The vegan burgers. I'm not vegan anymore. Okay. I was vegan for 5 years. We sit down and I told him my ideas. And I said, this is the commercial I want to make. And he pulled out a sheet of paper and started drawing pictures. And I was like, wow, he's smart. Like, I'm like, wow, he just like sprung into action. I'm like getting excited. We haven't talked about money yet. I said, how much will this cost to make? And you know what? I'm already scarred from my last 20 conversations. He said, $660. I said,
you're like,
I'm like, okay, now I'm skeptical. It's almost the opposite. Like, I'm like, okay, why? He said, I need a 10-foot PVC pipe with 2 elbows, with 2 belts. We need a skateboard. And if we rent this one specific lens on a Friday, we get to keep it all weekend. I said, $660. And you can make all this. I said, what about the music? He said, I make the music. I said, what about the mixing and master? I mix and master. I said, so you have all the equipment. He said, we just need one lens, a 10-foot PVC pipe. I said, why a 10-foot PVC pipe? He said, well, I need your feet to be the same exact distance from the camera at all times so that it feels like the background is changing as you're running all throughout LA. I was like, this guy might be a freaking genius. Mm. We shot a commercial, a fan-made Nike commercial.
I remember it.
We put it on my little Instagram with 10,000 followers. I pressed upload and I went on a bike ride. And my phone lines just started ringing from my friends. Like, Charlie, I know somebody at Nike. I'm going to send it to him. Charlie, I know somebody at Nike. I'm going to send it to him. And over the next 3 days, it had like 1,000 comments. People tagging Nike, tagging their friends. And then I'm in my living room. And my phone rings. And the caller ID said Beaverton, Oregon. And there's only one company in Beaverton, Oregon. Only one. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, there's no way. I actually have a video of this somewhere. And I'm jumping up and down screaming, but I have to answer the phone because I know it's Nike. I know it's Nike. I answer the phone. I calm myself down, try to act like a professional here. I said, hello. I'm out of breath. He said, this is Andy Miguel from Nike. Is this Charlie Rocket? I said, yes, it is. Yes, it is, Charlie. How can I help you, Andy? He said, we don't know how you did this, but you have managed to get our entire campus in a frenzy fighting over who's going to bring you here first.
Whoa.
This is where my brain kicked in and started being realistic. I mean, this probably is not going to like turn into anything. Like Andy says, we want to fly you to campus. They're probably just going to do like a little like good deed thing. Let me take a picture, give me some shoes, you know, because it's like got a few, you know, 100,000 views. I think even on Facebook, it got 1 million views. And I'm like, they're just going to like check a little like charity box. This is my brain thinking. He says, we want to fly you to campus. They put me in a limousine. They put me in first class to Portland, Oregon. Put me in another limousine. We pull up to campus. And they gave me like 75 pairs of shoes. And all the employees were walking up to me and they're like, they don't do this for people. And I was like, what do you mean? It's like they're doing something. And the gentleman, he walked me over to a conference room. And that employee whispered in my ear, he said, they must be up to something big. Do you know who's in that room? I was like, I don't know. I walk in and there were all these TVs and there was my face on it. And there was about 30 executives in the room. And I'm like, what is going on here? They said, Charlie, have a seat. We are changing the direction of our company because of that film that you made.
That's like, what they said to you.
Swear to God. I said, excuse me? I'm thinking here, this is a Dow 30 company. This is a massive corporation. They have their plans set out years in advance. And they said they're changing the direction of their company because of my fan-made Nike commercial that everybody told me I could not make because I didn't have the budget. And a guy walked in my front door. A guy walked in my front door and charged me $660, and we made a commercial, and Nike's executives are sitting in front of me saying we're changing the direction of our company because of this film. But then my brain kicks in again. And I'm
again?
Like, again. I mean, I'm human. Okay?
Yeah, but still.
So nothing happened at this meeting other than that. They let me go around campus, make videos, take pictures. They said, we're going to keep you updated. I guess I'm not a part of the company. I don't have an NDA signed. I guess they're not going to tell me what they're up to. But they send me a gift. This is a couple weeks later. An astronaut backpack. They mail it to me. And I said, I'm going to make another fan-made Nike commercial based around this gift. And I made a commercial where I go to outer space, literally as an astronaut. And I tell this inspiring story about crazy dreams. And I called the commercial Dream Crazy. I put it out. It did very well to my little Instagram following. Nike loved it. And one day, I'm running around a track in El Segundo, California. My phone rings from an employee at Nike. His name is Tim. He says, Charlie? I say, hello. He said, are you sitting down? I said, I can't be. like, what's going on? He's like, you're about to get an email. I said, I like emails. He said, in the email is an NDA. I said, "Oh, this is going to be good. If I got to sign an NDA, this is about to be great." He said, "And then there's going to be a link with a password. Once you sign the NDA, I'm going to give you the password over the phone." I said, "You can't even text me the password?" I was like, "This is good." I signed the NDA. I click the link. I type in the password. I'm sitting in the grass on my phone looking at a Nike commercial. And this Nike commercial gave me chills down my spine. Tim said on the phone, "We need your permission." I said, "You need my permission?" He said, "We need your permission before we put this out. None of this would have happened without you." And what I was watching on my phone was a commercial that became the biggest Nike commercial in Nike history. It was the Colin Kaepernick commercial. And when it went out, Nike stock price went up over $8 billion from one commercial alone. Sales were at an all-time high because of one commercial. This is overnight sensation. I got to see a commercial of myself with LeBron James and Serena Williams in a Nike commercial that was played on the Super Bowl, and I got to win an Emmy, and I thought back to all my notebooks, and I thought back to that brain tumor and me sitting on a beach looking at my life as a movie, and I said, this is a bad movie. What would be a good movie? A good movie would be, I'm going to leave the music industry. I'm going to go chase my dream of being an athlete. I'm going to become a Nike athlete. I'm going to make a fan-made Nike commercial. Nike's going to see it, and I'm going to be in a commercial with LeBron James and Serena Williams, and here I am in the real life physical version of something I saw when I closed my eyes. I was in a commercial with LeBron James and Serena Williams as a short, slow, overweight, fat person who was delusional enough to just show up and do it. And that's why the law of delusion is the most powerful thing, because yes, the law of attraction worked. He walked in my front door. I did not do that. What did I do? I was delusional enough to leave my business. I was delusional enough to ask everybody. I was delusional enough to write it down. I was delusional enough to tell everybody. I was delusional enough to give myself an athlete named Charlie Rocket. I was delusional enough to be like, I need to be an athlete if I want to be an athlete. So I'm going to make a fan-made Nike commercial. And then the universe conspired for me, sent him in my front door. Nike saw it. Nike signed me. I was delusional, and you're only crazy until you do it. And you're only delusional until it's real. And it became real. Dreams are real. If you close your eyes and you see it, it's already done. Time hasn't caught up yet. You just got to be delusional enough to actually show up. But why do I show up? Because I actually believe it's going to be easy. If I thought it was going to be hard, there would have been no action. My entire life, I've been a doer. And there's a reason why the universe keeps blessing me with miracles. Because I'm a lightning rod for lucky. It keeps striking over and over and over. And that's why I believe this law of delusion is the real secret that we all need in our life. A law of attraction, that's good wishful thinking. I do that every freaking day. But my delusion gets me to put myself into action. That was my little story. Thank you.
It's unreal, man. It's and I've heard some of it before. I don't know that I've ever seen you tell it that perfectly, or like making goosebumps go up on my skin like that. But I think there's three things there. One, you said and you outlined perfectly, which is that you're a doer, right? The second thing is that you actually believe that these things can happen, and that allows that attraction to happen when you combine that with being a doer. And then the third thing is you find a way to be a magnet for people to see the best in them and bring them to your level. You brought that guy to your level. He walked in there. You immediately, like everyone else who had ever seen him, judged him for the things that were very clear that needed to change for him, like the way he acted, his attitude on the world, maybe the way he presented himself, the way his tone of voice was, all of it. But you said, wait a minute. Like I kept thinking about this over here, Tupac, because he has a great poem that is really just like a modicum of life, a model to how things are. And I'm sure you've heard of it before, but he talked about the rose that grew from concrete, right? And one of the ways people can interpret these things in all different ways, but one of the ways I always took that, one of the perspectives, was that the rose might not know it's a rose because of where it was growing, and it didn't have a mirror and it couldn't see itself. But it needed the sunlight to grow, and it needed someone to stop by and look at it with a smile and know that there was some potential right there. And I think that there are a lot of people walking around the world who are begging for an opportunity, but they don't know how to ask for it. And they rely, and I don't mean this as a negative, but in some cases, the hinge of how their life can go one way or another can rely on one moment, right time, right place with the right person who can pull that from them. And I got to be honest, man, there's a lot of self-reflection for me in hearing stories like that, because one of the things I've been really judging myself on correctly lately, it's fair to judge myself on this, is opportunities coming into my face. Pause. That was a little.
Wow.
That came out wrong.
Goodness gracious. Just got X-rated. God, this was the most pure little innocent podcast.
Damn, it was so innocent.
You got cummed on your face.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
God, no.
Wow. That was like one of those slow motion train crashes.
slow.
Like I could feel it was happening. And I'm just, Neve's like, no.
Don't do it.
Like,
reconsider.
All right,
Reconsider.
we're gonna roll that one back. It's all good. We don't edit it out. We'll take that out. But all these opportunities have presented themselves in different ways, small ways, simple ways. And I think of a lot of reasons why I don't deserve them, or why it's not really the opportunity that I see right there. And that's not good. That's something that has to change. And it's something that's entirely my fault. There's no, like, I think a lot of times you can look at some things and say, well, the circumstances aren't right, or, well, the people that are there, it's not the right vibe, or what. You can come up with whatever excuses you want in your head. But the reality is we let really simple things get in our way, speaking for myself, because we decide that, we're not in a position to be able to handle that. And I think a lot of your life is constantly like, even when you've been operating from a place of being way behind or at a disadvantage, have a fucking brain tumor or something like that, you're like, okay, I can change this reality. Okay, that door is creaked open just a little bit right there. I can see the light on the other side. I don't know what it looks like, but it looks fucking bright. So I'm gonna rip that bitch open. And it sounds so simple, but like me hearing you describe it and see that, like that, even just that one story play out, play by play, just like that, hits home big time, man.
Well, I'm glad. What are you manifesting that's going to be so big and yet so easy? Because maybe bigger is easier. What's the big one? That's the easiest big thing you've ever done. It's big and it's easy.
What do you mean by big? That was the other thing I wanted to ask you. I knew there was something else in there.
Okay.
You kept on saying it's going to be easy.
It's going to be easy.
But is that the things you did, though? And this is a compliment. They're objectively not easy. You did hard things. You did them well. You put the time in. You believed in them. You made them happen so that afterwards you can be like, look, that's all I had to do.
You're 3 years old.
Okay.
You've never tied a shoe. You're tasked with tying a shoe. It's time. Little Julian, you're about to tie a shoe. And I show you this complicated process. And you go to try. Is that hard or easy?
It's hard at first.
It's hard. And then once you know how to do it,
then
is it hard? So what is hard and what is easy? Once you know how to do something, 1 + 1 used to be hard. There was a time you didn't know how to do that.
I thought I was going to say 2. I was like, where's this going?
1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah.
At one point in your life, was that hard?
Yes, I see what you're saying now. Keep
Was
going.
2 times 2 at one point hard?
Yes.
Was 4 divided by 2 at one point hard?
Yes.
That is a very complicated process. But the second you know how, is it easy?
Yes.
So why even label something as hard? We just need to know how. I knew my how with each and everything. I want to be a successful manager. I signed a group named Travis Porter. I just got fired from being Soulja Boy's cameraman, back to my mom's basement. I get fired from signing my first girl group, got them a record deal. They fired me, back to my mom's basement. I signed a guy group named Travis Porter. And I said, I'm not doing a record deal. I'm not going into this big, unknown, smart world of trying to be strategic. I need to be successful, so I'm going to develop a play. And I'm going to run the play. And if I can find a play that guarantees my success, and it doesn't rely upon anybody else, is it going to be easy for me to be a successful manager? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Once you get there, though.
No, once I know how to do it, it's easy. Tying the shoe. So this is what I did. I said, what's the play? I'm going to pass out CDs every single night. If you want more fans, just more people need to know about you. Is that hard or easy concept?
Easy.
Easy concept. So if I pass out 10 CDs and I end up with 1 fan, easy or hard concept?
Easy.
Okay. If I pass out 100,000 CDs, the ratios are always going to be there. So I need to pass out 1 million CDs if I want to have a lot of fans. Hard concept or easy concept?
Easy.
Okay. I need to pass out CDs.
1 million CDs is a lot, though.
I freaking did it. It was the play, and I ran it all the way to number 2 song in the country. I passed out CDs, and then I hired people to pass out CDs with me. And then we passed out CDs. I'll be standing outside the nightclub, and somebody said to me, "You've given me 8. I said, "Take 9. It's a spiritual act for me to give you this CD. I am proving to myself that I am not smart. I do not want to be smart. I want to be the factory worker. Smart people think a lot. I am guaranteeing my success. I put the widget in the hole. Widget in the hole. I am guaranteeing my success. That is easy. What is hard? Being smart is hard. I'm putting the widget in the hole. Take 9. Take 10. Take 11. Take 12. Give it to your cousin. I grew one of the biggest management companies in the world when I signed 2 Chainz.
Yeah, what's the story there? How did that happen?
I'm at a Lil Wayne music video with my group Travis Porter. We're on top of the world. Number 2 song in the country. Lil Wayne has a music video shoot, and my business partner DJ Techniques had a great relationship with this artist by the name of Titty Boy. Titty Boy. So we get invited to Titty Boy's music video with Lil Wayne. Titty Boy was in a rap group called Players Circle. Lil Wayne's in the building, and it was my first time being around Lil Wayne. I was like, that's a superstar. Lil Wayne's, biggest rapper in the world at the time. And so 2 Chainz walks in, and something happened. It was different, bro. 2 Chainz walked in, and the atmosphere in the room changed.
And you didn't know him at the time?
I knew who he was. I remember when I was on tour with Soulja Boy, I'm sitting in a minivan in Little Rock, Arkansas, looking at a music video, and I saw this guy wearing a wife beater in the music video, and I said, he sure is ugly, but man, he looks so cool. It was very distinct look. He almost looked like a very tall, like Lil Wayne. You know how Lil Wayne is technically a little ugly, but looks so cool. And Titty Boy was the same, except he's like 6'6".
And he's got a name, Titty Boy.
And his name is Titty Boy. But I was like, he's so cool. But this is years before. I'm looking at this music video. So Titty Boy walks in, atmosphere in the room changes. The man had so many necklaces on. You couldn't even see his neck. He looked like a black Egyptian pharaoh. I'm like looking at him, and my heart lit up. And now I have this gift. right? With my heart, where I let my heart dictate my direction. And I've always had this gift, and even to this day, and I credit so much to my heart because I've never took it off of a ringer. What do I mean by that?
Yeah.
Okay. We get scorned, right? I'm going to give you an example. Your cell phone. When you first got a cell phone, did you have a ringtone?
Yes.
All right. And then it went from like a song, right? To then it went to like a normal ringtone. And then it went to vibrate. And then do not disturb.
I don't really put on do not disturb.
Impressive. Yeah. Very impressive. Most people, over the course of time, it went from ringer to vibrate to do not disturb. Actually, obnoxious ringtone to normal ringtone to vibrate to do not disturb. And like all those notifications scorned us to where we kind of like are like allergic because it's like so much. It might have been so many bad calls or so many emails or so many things. And we like shut down. And it's the same way with our hearts. Our hearts, when we were young, were open. And then we put it on vibrate. And then it gets scarred. And then we put it on do not disturb. And it stops having life. Mine, I've always kept my heart on ringer. So when you get a calling, I answer. Because I can feel it ring. I can hear it ring. It lights up. It's glowing. It's dancing. It's the obnoxious ringtone. It's vibrating. The light's going off. But like I allow my heart to still be on ringtone. It is not on do not disturb. I can hear it. And it's always been this way. I haven't let the world tarnish my heart. So when Titty Boy walks in, my heart lights up. I'm going that way. When my heart lights up, I know. Okay? When I was a kid, I saw a baseball field. Did my heart light up? I saw a football field. Did my heart light up? I saw hockey. Heart light up? I walked onto a basketball court. I saw those lights shining off of the floor. I heard the squeak, the smell. My heart lit up. Did I choose that? No. It was meant for me. I loved basketball. Yep. So I'm very keen to listening to my heart. So Titty Boy walks in, my heart lit up. I want to sign him. But everything's going against this guy. He was in a rap group. He was signed to Ludacris. So this means we'd have to take him solo. We'd have to get him out of a contract.
That's hard in music.
And he signed to Ludacris for 10 years. It's like, it might be like a terrible like situation for me. It might be a bad business decision. But my heart likes this. And my business partners, Tech and Al, they were so excited as well. And we approached them. And we said, we want to manage you. And he looked at us maybe like we're little oddballs. I was like a 20-year-old kid. I have a DJ who, is a business partner. And like Al was like kind of like our like Birdman. He was like a street dude, So it's like we're kind of like an odd couple, right? We're like the Three Stooges. And so he didn't imagine us as a manager. He saw this gentleman by the name of Rico Brooks, who was a very successful, educated black man who has managed some of the biggest artists in hip hop, be his manager. But me, I don't like asking for permission to be great. If my heart lit up, I know it's already mine.
You know it's already yours.
I know it's mine. It's done. Time just hasn't caught up yet. My brain will tell me all the things that are wrong. I'm sitting in a meeting with Titty Boy, Rico Brooks, and me and my Three Stooges business partners. And we're like the oddballs. Like we're sitting there like this. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take this. And I'm not going to do it with force. We're going to be the managers. So we went and bought CDs. Run the play. We go to the next meeting. All of us are in the meeting. And Tit sees us with CDs. He's like, what are those? He's like, we pressed up CDs. I'm going to act like the manager if I'm going to be the manager. And then I take him out to a nice restaurant by the airport. And I presented a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day game plan. Next meeting, this is your promo tour. You're going to this club. You're going to these radio stations. We're shooting these music videos. Music videos are coming out on Friday on WorldStar. We're doing this. Mixtapes coming out here. We're bringing all this to the table. Rico Brooks stopped showing up to the meetings. I love Rico Brooks, by the way. Great friend of mine. But we're getting shows booked. So if the money's already flowing through us, who's the manager? Me and my business partners. I knew it was ours. I just had to be it first. It's very similar to the Nike commercial, just in a different way. My heart lit up. I knew it was going to be easy. I go pass out CDs. I remember there was this moment 2 Chainz felt something I don't know what happened, but there was a connection. Figure 8 nightclub on the west side of Atlanta. It's raining. Titty Boy walks out of by the way, anybody listening, Titty Boy is 2 Chainz. Titty Boy is walking out of the nightclub. He sees me chasing people down, passing out his CDs in the rain, in my suit. I would pass out CDs in my Joseph A. Banks suits every night, size 5X. And he looked at me, and I could tell that there was something there where he was like, maybe he was thinking, damn, this is how I should be treated. I need that in my life. And so we ended up managing 2 Chainz. We took his name from Titty Boy to 2 Chainz.
Good move.
He was saying it as an ad lib, and it was like a natural fit, and it was just like perfect. And so it was like, let's transition your name into 2 Chainz, and it just took off, right? But let's go back to just my heart. If your heart lights up at something, it's already done. And it's going to be easy. Now let's take this, for example. Passing out the CDs. That was my play that guarantees my success. I'm passing out 2 Chainz CDs every single day, but I had never experienced what happened before. I'm on a college campus, always in the AUC. Pass out a CD and people would drop it on the ground. I was not used to that. People like Travis Porter.
Put it down.
And so they wouldn't always throw them on the ground. But now I'm passing out a 2 Chainz CD and they're all on the ground. And so I started asking people, like, why don't you want this? It's like, he's old. Like, why would I listen to that? Because at the time he was maybe like 33.
Yeah, he blew up late.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, this is the future. Like, listen, like, he's one of the best rappers in the world. But I guess the kids looked at it kind of like if I were to like pass you out a new like 50 Cent mixtape right now, you'd just be like, like we just don't listen to 50 Cent like that. We'll rather listen to his old stuff. But it's like he's old. Like 50 Cent isn't like new. We want NBA Youngboy, right? And so they kind of looked at Titty Boy as that. And so I would go pick up all the CDs off the ground and I would rehand them out. I have to run my play. I'm not about to start getting strategic and trying to be smart because smart is hard. I'm going to run my easy play until it works.
Muscle memory.
Look, that's it. I need it to be easy. And if I stop that play and start trying to do other things, I'm probably going to stop. I need one play that's guaranteed my success. So I'm passing out the CDs. And then things started shifting slowly. It took longer than I thought, but I'm passing out the CDs every night. And it wasn't going exactly how I had planned. But the universe blessed me with something I didn't even do. It was my walk in the front door moment. With 2 Chainz, there was somebody walked in the front door. And it was actually a fight that happened that changed our life.
A fight
between P. Diddy and T.I. It's BET weekend in Atlanta, Georgia. Compound nightclub, the #1 nightclub in Atlanta. Diddy is promoting Ciroc, and he's promoting it heavy. So he's in the nightclubs, and this is the biggest club destination weekend in Atlanta. Diddy's on stage. And he's like getting mad at people in the crowd who are drinking Grey Goose. So he's talking reckless. And so T.I. is there. And T.I. gets on the microphone. He's like, hey, homie, like T.I. style. and he tells Diddy, like, you're in so many words, you're not going to come in our city and talk to our people like that. Like, you're from New York. You're in Atlanta. You're in my city. So they get in like a verbal fight on the stage. And everybody's filming it. And the DJ has the music cut off. And it's like getting tense. So the DJ's trying to get everybody back to focusing on the party. Like, we don't want this thing to spiral out of control. So the DJ drops a song. I'm riding around and I'm getting it. It's mine. I spend it. And then they're still fighting. DJ brings it back. Spins a song. I'm riding around and I'm getting it. It's mine. I spend it. DJ brings it back again. Everybody's filming the fight. I'm riding around and I'm getting it. It's mine. I spend it. Footage leaks on World Star of the fight. WorldStarHipHop.com. Mm-hmm. Everybody's in the comments saying, what's that song? What's that song? What's that song? Song takes off. No fucking looking back. I didn't do that. Just like I didn't ask the gentleman to walk in my front door, I went and planted so many freaking seeds, and one day it's going to freaking rain.
That's right.
And I'm going to have a forest. So I planted how many seeds? How many times did that DJ see me standing outside the nightclub? Probably me, my business partner. And it wasn't just me. It was me, my business partner, street team. We are running the play. Guaranteeing our success. And passing out a CD is easy. Becoming a successful manager is easy.
Here's one place, and this is a credit to you.
Yes, sir.
Where I would just add context. And I understand what you're saying with easy now. You want to pick a play that you can do a muscle memory. So in theory, yes, that's easy. The thing that, another thing that separates you from a lot of people, people that haven't done it, that maybe wanted to do it, is that you're willing to put that time in. That time is not easy. We don't know when our life ends. We have a finite amount of time. It's even a funny thing when you even think about it in concept. But you are out there every night passing out CD after CD in the internet era, I might add. Like, this wasn't like 95 or something like that. Like, you're like, we're going to use some of the old school plays too.
Yes.
Because we know what, it's math. We know what we can control. So yes, the action itself, easy enough. Hand out CDs. Few people say, fuck you and throw it on the ground. Great. I can hand it out to someone else. But doing that again and again and again and again and again, that's inspiring. That's the hard thing. That's where, you know, a lot of people fall short because they get afraid of, you know, they live that quiet desperation, right? Where they're desperate to do something, but they're not desperate to do something about it. You did something about it.
Yeah. You'll notice a common thread. Ironman, hard. 8-year-old go and run for a couple hours in the park, easy.
Yeah.
I actually show up because I actually believe every day everything's about to change. It might take a year or two, but every day I think today's the day. I actually thought I was going to win the lottery that night.
I believe
I actually thought, no, like I'm moving in tonight.
Yeah.
That's delusion. So if you wake up every day with that delusion, you don't even feel the pain because today's the day. Every day. And it's going to be easy and it's going to work. And when we get knocked down, I throw my temper tantrum. That's not fun. You see a pattern? That's not fun. Oh no, this is about to happen. And I go right back to the delusion. So I actually end up doing really hard things and it gets done in a very short period of time in the scheme of things. To where if you look at the first 31 years of my life and you see everything I did, you would be like, well, he makes everything look easy.
After the fact.
After the fact. Yeah. And technically, in one hand, it is easy.
Right.
In the other hand, it is hard. which one do I want to look at?
You want to look at easy.
And I'm going to continue doing that.
Yeah.
I'm doing it right now with my book. I'm writing a book.
You're writing a book, right?
I'm writing a book.
Memoir?
No.
What's the book?
It's called Winning Streak. The art of mastering the art of delusional optimism.
I like that.
Okay? And it's going to be a classic. It's going to look like a classic. It's literally going to look like a 1930s cover. It's going to have a linen cover. It's going to look old school. Okay? Check this out. It's going to sell 30 million copies. Now, have I ever written a book before? No. Is writing a book hard? Maybe. But I heard that The Alchemist was written in 6 days.
I didn't know that.
True story.
Wow.
6 days.
Rocky was written in 3.
Rocky was written in 3. Okay. I heard
Or a week.
that Forrest Gump's book was written in 6 weeks.
Wow.
Does that sound hard? That doesn't sound hard. That sounds easy, actually. 6 days, I could do 6 days. Okay? So, might be hard, might be easy. I'm going to say, okay, it's going to be easy. Now, how many copies of The Alchemist were sold? 150,000? Wow, that's a lot. Like, you think about like Let Them Theory, which is like the biggest book in the world right now, sold 7 million copies.
You want to do 30 million.
I want to do 30 million. The Secret did 30 million. Or like Think and Grow Rich did like 100 million. I'm like, 30 should be pretty easy. Like, I'm like, okay, I know what it looks like. I'm going to tell everybody what's going to happen. It's going to be a classic. It's going to look like a classic. I know the title. I know the color of the book. I know exactly when I'm going to drop it. I came up with a date, November 27th. Have I written it yet? No. But I'm going
November 27th this year?
No, next year. Next year.
Okay.
No,
Like,
next
shit,
year.
bro.
No, we gotta work it right. We gotta go.
Holy
You got 6
shit.
days. So it's like, I'm just gonna find a way for it to be easy. I'm like, okay, like, I'm gonna write it in 6 weeks. That's gonna be easy. I found a self-publisher. I don't even want a traditional publisher. Why? Because they're gonna get in my way, right? Like, David Goggins sold 7 million copies and he self-published.
Right.
Like, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I don't need anybody in my way. That's when it's gonna get hard. Okay, somebody mess up my play. We're not having anybody mess up my play. I'm doing it.
Why'd you pick? Is that Black Friday
What?
when you want to release it?
Yeah.
Why'd you pick Black Friday?
People ready to spend money. Like, duh. So you got Black Friday and then Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
I'm going to create all this FOMO. It's going to be the cool thing to have. All the influencers, everybody's going to have and be like, it's going to be a fashion statement, right? If you have this orange classic looking book, it's going to say who you are. We are delusional optimists. We are on a winning streak. That's what we all want. So it's like this episode, for example, is going to be the baseline for all of my marketing. This episode, I'm going to say something in this episode that's going to get 50 million views, and then everybody's going to start saying like delusional optimism is the way of the future, and then I'm going to write the book and then sell 30 million copies, and it's going to be easy, okay? And it's just going to go crazy, right? And I'm going to buy that house, right? So it's like easy. But that's how I talk to myself. These are my conversations. Yeah. There is another path. Want me to tell you what the other path is?
Please.
Other path is this. This is the dreamer's journey.
Dreamer's journey.
This is the dreamer's journey. Okay, we can all agree we get really excited about stuff. Okay, I want this. Man, we're going to be rich. This is going to be awesome. Let's sell 30 million copies. And then on the dreamer's journey, there's the valley of reality. And this is where, damn, I don't know how to write a book. I'm not a writer. I need to get a writer. Okay, let me look.
You are a writer.
Okay, thanks. I like that.
You
Thank
are
you.
a writer.
You're a good fucking friend. That's
No,
what
I'm
you
serious.
are.
Like, writing is just the expression of actually putting down into physical form the ability to think and speak. That's all it is.
You want to know what's crazy?
That's what you got.
This episode might write the freaking book for me. That's how good this episode is. Like, that's how easy it's going to be. Like, we'll just take this, put it into AI, transcribe it. Okay, cool. Like, easy, right? Like, we got our chapters right here. It's super easy. So the valley of reality is I need a ghostwriter. Somebody who can make this sound like a book, that can explain like, oh, I walked into the room and it felt like this and it looked like this. Okay. All right. It might be that easy. But then as I'm Googling, like, how much does like the ghostwriter for Kevin Hart's book, like he's like super successful ghostwriter. And I'm like, he was written some really good books. Oh, wow. He charges $1 million. Okay. Can't afford that. Okay. Let me look up a cheaper ghostwriter. Normally about 100,000 for a good one. I'm like, yeah, I'm not spending 100,000 on a ghostwriter. Now we're in the valley of reality right here. Okay, so I'm gonna write it myself, but it might take me like a year. I hear like people like spend a year writing a book, and then I need to hire an editor, and editors can cost like 30,000, and then I need a publishing company, and then it's like fuck. Like you see where the valley of reality takes me? It's brain. Like that's where the brain is, and like my dreams are probably going to die a life of like I'm gonna fall into the valley of reality, and I'm probably going to get fucking paralyzed. And guess what happens when you're paralyzed in a valley?
You can't fucking walk.
You can't fucking walk. We're dying in this fucking valley. And that's where the dreamer's journey usually ends. You dream big. Your brain kicks in, and you die in the valley of reality. Let's go all the way back. Okay. It's going to be fucking easy. This motherfucker wrote it in 6 days. I'm going to write it in 6 days. I'm going to self-publish it. I know what the cover looks like. I'm releasing it on Black Friday. I don't need a publishing company. I'm going to do it myself. These people sold 30,000. These people sold 150,000. You know what? I can do it. You know what? I'm going to take this podcast, transcribe it, and they got these little AI tools. It'll help me. And then I'm going to put it out there, and I'm going to post it on Instagram, and people are going to be really inspired by one of these clips, and an editor is going to be like, I want to help you with that. And I'm not spending 40 grand. He's like, I want to be a part of this. I'm freaking inspired. Okay. Now we got an editor. I used AI to make the freaking cover for free. I know what it looks like. I'm actually even going to own a new identity.
A new identity?
A new identity, because I'm going to be an author. I need to look like a scholar. So I went on Pinterest, made a mood board of my new style. Now I'm going to go varsity jacket, Ivy League underneath. Okay. Varsity jacket. Every time you see me, I'm going to be wearing a varsity jacket, but Ivy League preppy wear underneth. I got pictures on my phone. Let me show you. So like I literally, if I want to be I love this guy. No, I really, really live this. So this is what I'm going to look like. I'm going to look like this guy. Okay. But that's what an author, that's what a best-selling author looks like. You can go left or right.
Yeah.
And you're going to see how I'm going to keep it streetwear with the varsity jacket, but I'm going to look like an author. Now,
does that look like an author?
Absolutely.
That's an author to give you the author's approval.
But like I want to write a classic, so I need to be classic, okay? I'm going to keep my streetwear. I'm going to keep my streetwear with my varsity jacket, but I want to look like a classic. So I'm going into a new chapter, so I'm creating a new character. This is Delusion.
Are you going to put a Charlie Rocket spin on it?
Not a name, but a metaphor.
No. I don't. Sorry, I should have said that differently.
Oh.
Not the actual name. I'm saying like the style like that. Are you going to change up a few things to make it personal to you?
The hats and the varsity jackets will be my like streetwear.
Okay.
But and the colors.
Oh, this is a team effort. I like this.
Yeah, she's great stylist.
We got a designer over here. I like this.
But like, look at my man. Too cool.
That's gangster. That's
cool.
Actually, come on now.
Too cool.
Yo, flames.
Okay.
I don't know who that is, but keep doing what you're doing.
I'll buy that book. I would buy his book.
Yes, I would too.
Okay.
He looks like a real straight shooter.
So anytime I go into anything, I do this thing where I have to be the identity. And it creates a lot of accountability, but it's a hack for me. I want to be a businessman. I take off my normal clothes and I put on a suit in high school. I took off my backpack and I held a briefcase. And I went to high school every day with a suit and a briefcase. I put it on my grandfather. And I don't put anything on my grandfather. Okay? Put 3 things on my grandfather. No, I believe you.
That's awesome.
I'm CEO Charlie. I gave myself a name and an outfit. And I'm going to become that. And so in the yearbook, guess who gets voted most likely to succeed? Me. Why? Because it's my identity. It makes it easy to be most likely to succeed because I'm telling everybody what I'm going to do and I'm showing them. And I have my little businesses and I'm wearing my suit and I have my briefcase. Okay. I became a successful businessman.
When you were, Charlie, sorry to cut you off. I got to ask this though. When you were a little kid, 5, 6, 7 years old, who's your hero?
Michael Jordan, and then became Allen Iverson.
Fictionally, Who was your hero?
Fiction.
Jordan and Iverson makes a lot of sense
Okay.
for real people, but fictionally, who was your hero?
My favorite movie?
Sure.
Cool Runnings. Sanka, you dead, man. No, it's Darish, you dead, man. No, Sanka. No, it's like I like sports. I liked Inspiration. I liked Angels in the Outfield, the movie. I liked anything that was like, I'm a little bit disadvantaged and a miracle is going to happen and my dream's going to come true.
I'm an underdog.
And so, like, my favorite movies of today are like Moana. Little girl had a calling to go save the world. Everybody told her, stay here on the island. Your dream. Don't go chase your dream. She went to go chase her dream of saving the world, and she would fall off the raft and the water would put her back. She couldn't fail. It was guaranteed. Like every time she fell off the raft, the water put her back. It was guaranteed she was going to save the world. And then I think about like Sing 2 or like Greatest Showman. Like these are like my favorite movies. I love seeing somebody get their dream. I just love it. And I've always loved it. Like somebody who's struggling and like disadvantaged and they got to experience that in their lifetime. That's what I like.
Did you like that they then did in achieving their dream, they did something larger than life, as in they took on a figurative hero's role?
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
I did like that.
You liked
that
a lot.
I always liked it. Yeah. So where was I before you
were
asked that
talking about
question?
CEO Charlie.
CEO Charlie.
You're rocking. That's why I asked you. You're rocking the briefcase and the suit, going to school, getting into character in a way to be the.
And then I became it, and it worked. So when I wanted to become an athlete, I needed an athlete name. I'm just going to do it again. My name can't be CEO Charlie anymore. I need to be Charlie Rocket. And so like, I'm going to like give myself a name that has meaning. I gave myself a name Rocket. I was fat. Rockets start off slow and then they get fast. The first mile, like that thing is going like this. It's so slow. But then once it gets to 62 miles, it's fast. Every mile gets faster and faster. So I'm like, I'm a rocket. Start off slow. I'm going to get fast. Okay, cool. Charlie Rocket. And I put on the clothes. Colorful clothes, bandana, sunglasses, just fun, colorful. I'm a ball of energy. Charlie Rocket.
This up, Dave. Yeah, I remember this look. Yeah.
And so now I'm going into being an author.
Now you got to be the author.
I got to be it. Like, there's a couple things that are going to happen through this process. One, I just went on your podcast and told everybody what I'm going to do. Do you believe me?
I do. You put it out in the universe.
But how did I say it?
What do you mean, how?
Did you even have a chance to have an opinion about anything I said? You just believed me.
I believe in you because of the vibe you carry. But as you're saying things, as a human being, there's a part of me that's like, maybe. And then I'm like, nah, I think this guy will figure it out.
Absolutely.
Like and I'll tell you one part where I was thinking in my head, I don't know. Okay. When you said 30 million. But you know what I thought in my head? I said a fucking classic award-winning book does 5 to 7.
Yeah.
This guy could do 15 and be a legend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now you're saying 30, 15 wouldn't be what you want, but 15 million books about teaching people how to have a winning streak and everything that you're teaching today, that changes the world.
I'll tell you why I can quantify it. Everybody feels like a loser. I mean, even the people that are successful, they still don't feel like they're winning. Bad stuff is happening every day in people's lives. The most successful people I know, they're like the most insecure. And the most broken people I know, they're also insecure. Everybody's insecure. Everybody wants to win. Everybody has levels of happiness that can be achieved. So the title of my book is Winning Streak. It's the most infectious 2 words that we all subconsciously want in our life. That's one. Think about how to win friends and influence people. On a subconscious level, that just is like ultimately what humans want or need in their life. Winning streak is going to touch everybody. And for me, most of my audience is women. And most women buy books. It's like 80% of books sold are women. So it's like, I got women, I got the subconscious. It's going to be a classic. It's going to be the best book. It's going to have the best stories. I'm going to tell the best stories of the best celebrities and entrepreneurs that were delusional. And we're going to literally write the greatest book. It's going to have a hero's journey arc. Then it's going to have all these cool lessons. And then it's going to have a structure on how to apply it all. I'm like, it's the best book ever written. You know what? I'm thinking too small. 100 million. I'm not even going to have to do anything. It's going to be so good. Everybody's going to do it for me. It's easy. Abracadabra. Guaranteed. You just made me go to 100 million. Thanks.
On the record, too.
100 million. I mean, hopefully I'm alive while it does 100 million. Because you think about like how to win friends and influence people. But the interesting thing about like The Alchemist, for example, when it first came out, it was a flop.
Right.
And then
it just for people to understand it.
And it just went crazy. 150 million copies.
Yep.
So long story short, that's what's going to happen. But I'm going to wear the identity. I'm going to speak it. So guess what I have to do? I have to do it. Mm. But I'm going to do it because I actually believe it's going to be easy.
I believe you.
I'm not letting my brain take over. The common thread through all this is I'm making my brain work for my heart. Mm. And then I'm hacking the system by speaking it. I'm wearing it. I'm confirming. You know how like the confirmation bias thing works? It's yes. Like as humans, we want to confirm our belief systems.
That's right.
So we don't feel like we're going insane. So it's like, if I believe it's going to be easy, I'm going to find ways it's easy. And so I'm just going to find them. And then when it gets hard, I might take an L. 2 L's make a W. It's going to be a win. Like I got to keep the winning streak going. These are all my hacks to being successful, not just once or 10 times, but I've done this on repeat my whole life. Big goal, small goal.
Different things.
I can give you an example because there is something through all of this that I haven't talked about yet.
What's that?
I'm expecting miracles at this point.
You're expecting miracles?
I'm expecting miracles.
What do you mean?
I'm expecting somebody to walk through my front door. I'm expecting there to be a random fight and I get blessed. I'm expecting these things at this point.
You call that a miracle?
Absolutely. Mm. I mean, it's like I didn't tell that guy to walk through the front door and he knows how to make every single thing I'm looking for. Like, no videographer makes music that sounds like Hans Zimmer. Go listen to the commercial. It's Hans Zimmer strings. And he edits it like that was a miracle. I did not do that. There was no 1 + 1 = 2 there. I did not drop 1,000 cold emails. I didn't do that. He walked in my front door. So there are miracles. But I'm at this point now where I'm expecting miracles. I'll give you a miracle that happened in New Jersey.
Love that.
This exact week, 5 years ago, I sold all my houses. I moved into a bus. It's the pandemic. And I'm giving all my money away, helping people all throughout the country doing the Dream Machine Foundation. Mm-hmm. And I expected that if I go help enough people, there's going to be rich people who call, step up, and want to donate with me. And I've personally given away like $400,000 of my own dollars. Wow. And I'm building this tour. And we had a sponsor for the tour. And we're going throughout the country. And we're getting to New York. And the bank account got down to almost zero. I'm scared. I'm like the foundation bank account. And I'm frustrated. And I had a manager at the time. And we got in a big fight. Bank account's getting zero. People are getting antsy. He doesn't know how he's going to make money from this if there's no money left because I've given it all away. I asked him, I need a police escort to get to Corona, New York, where we're going to do an activation. He said, I'm not getting you police escort. I was like, man, bro, like we got in a fight. He didn't give me a police escort because I'm driving a big old bus through these small roads and I got stuck. And I'm blocking all these like lanes of traffic. and like I'm stuck and I'm trying to back up the bus and the roads are too tight and people are honking at me. And I'm just sitting there in my bus with my head on the steering wheel, like damn near crying because all this is falling apart. I left the music industry. My dreams have come true. I've dedicated my life to helping people. Nobody has stepped up to help us. I'm now in the middle of a 4-lane intersection. Everybody's honking at me. My manager and I just got in a huge fight and my head's on the steering wheel. And I'm like, I wish he gave me a freaking police escort. That night, I lit into him and he quit. And I'm calling my mom, screaming that this whole vision I had is falling apart. And I'm punching the pillow and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs out of frustration. This is this week 5 years ago. I had a cameraman with me and I had an intern with me on the road. We're in an old 2006 Winnebago that broke down every day. It was called the Dream Machine. It was more like the Nightmare Machine. This whole thing turned into a freaking nightmare. I'm staying in the same hotel. So we parked the bus over here in New Jersey. I'm staying at a hotel in Soho, the Sheraton. Same one I'm staying in right now. This week, 5 years ago. And I told my cameraman and I told my intern, I said, listen, we're going to pause the tour. We're going to go find a blessing. He said, where are we going? I said, Atlantic City.
That's a bad start.
No, I had never been to Atlantic City. I thought Atlantic City was a nice place. I was like, let's get an Airbnb. No, I didn't know.
Airbnb and AC is going to be a crack den, bro.
No. Okay.
It's going to be old mob bodies in the bottom cement.
I did not know. So we leave the bus at the RV park. We get a rental car. We go to Atlantic City. I get an Airbnb, and the next morning, somebody next door was shot and killed. Oh. No, exactly what you just said is exactly what happened. And I was like, okay, what we were going to do is sit down for 2 weeks and come up with a business plan on how to get money to fund this nonprofit. Like, it's falling apart. Nobody's going to get paid. My manager quit. This shit's falling apart. Bus is broken. All this shit's going wrong. So I said, we got to get out of Atlantic City. So I found an Airbnb in Ventnor.
This is where Ventnor comes in.
A nice neighborhood down the street from Atlantic City. And they had a nice little acai bowl place. I was like, this is where we need to be. We're going to be here for 2 weeks. Check this out. There was a church. There was a labyrinth outside the church. Now, to remember how this story started, I said, I'm starting to expect miracles. I'm in the labyrinth. Do you know what a labyrinth is?
Nope.
All right. So a labyrinth is just like a little maze where people manifest in. There's sometimes at spiritual places like in Sedona, but this Methodist church had a labyrinth outside.
Oh, this wasn't like a Far East kind of thing?
No, this is at a Methodist church. Wow. And there's a labyrinth. And it's like a maze you walk in these circles, and it's...
In Ventnor?
Swear to God.
I spent a lot of drunk nights in Ventnor. I think I'd have found this fucking thing.
I put this on my grandfather.
Okay.
Go to the Methodist church. I'm walking around the labyrinth. If I made up this story, this would be very interesting imagination.
That's right. Yeah.
This would be,
you're really...
I could write another type of book.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a future.
So I'm walking around this labyrinth, and we need a blessing to happen. And so I close my eyes, and I'm walking, and I saw something. I saw $500,000. I saw it.
Like in your mind?
In my mind.
Okay.
I saw it. And it felt good. To where I'm walking around this labyrinth, and I started dancing as if the $500,000 came. And I'm feeling it. And I told my 2 employees, we're all walking around this. If you were looking at us, you would thought we were crazy. I said, guys, like, we just got $500,000. Like, what would we be doing? And I'm like smiling and dancing as if the 500, and if you just saw these 3 grown men doing this in a labyrinth at a Methodist church, you would have thought we're crazy. But I saw it. So I started writing it in my notebook. We're in the Airbnb, and we started manifesting. And we started making some phone calls, and we raised a few $1,000. Okay? Not 500,000. We raised a few $1,000. And I get an email. And it's from Hasbro, the toy company. And I don't know Hasbro. But they just cold emailed me and said, Charlie, we saw a video you made. And we want to donate. And I told my boys, I said, this is it. This is the 500,000. I know it is because I saw it, and then Hasbro emailed me. I don't ever get emails from companies wanting to donate. Never has happened before. We get on a call the next morning, a Zoom call, and then we start the call off by not like the small talk. Me and my boys are singing A Million Dreams. Like one is standing on the staircase. You look like High School Musical in the Airbnb. One is standing on the sofa, one is standing on the counter, and we're singing A Million Dreams. And that's how we start off the Zoom call, because we know that this is the $500,000. So we get on the Zoom. They were laughing. They liked it, good energy, and they say, we want to donate. And I'm like gearing up, and we're all like bracing for it. Our arms are, we probably recorded this call, by the way. I probably have this call recorded. And they said, we want to donate $50,000. I'd never been so ungrateful for a blessing in my life because I knew it was going to be 500,000, and yet 50,000 just came in, and I was like, I was disappointed because my expectations were so high because I know what I saw. And so I thanked them, and I was appreciative, and I didn't show them that I was very disappointed, but I was so disappointed because I knew that it was going to be 500 and it wasn't. And then the next day they wanted to get on another Zoom call, and they said we had some conversations inside the company and we found some more budget, 150,000. And then they said it went to the higher ups. The next day they called, and the CEO got involved. He said, we're scrapping our entire influencer budget for Christmas. $450,000. And in that 2 weeks we were in Ventnor, we raised $750,000.
Wow.
I put it on my grandfather, and I don't put anything on my grandfather. True story.
You see how you said you were standing around that Airbnb manifesting, though? And then what did you tell me right after that?
I was making some phone calls.
And got on the phone call, started raising money, getting things going. That's what people got to hear. It's not
both.
Just as simple as thinking it. It's like, I'm thinking it. Let's put that in the universe. Now let's fucking do something about it.
And then expect the miracle to come because you're renewing the lease. You're renewing the lease by every phone call you make, every CD you pass out, every meeting you take with a producer. You're renewing the lease, and you send out the energy. Check this out. If you sent out a signal and you want it to bounce back, let's say we're in a swimming pool. You send out a wave, and you want a wave to come back to you. You want to send and you want to receive, right? That's the goal in life. If I send out what I want to receive. You're in a swimming pool, you dip your pinky toe in. It creates the tiniest little ripple because it's just your pinky toe. Little ripple goes out. Is that ripple hitting the wall and like coming back?
Nope.
If you cannonballed into the pool, is it sending a ripple out and is it coming back?
Yes.
Bigger is easier. Cannonball, not pinky toe. Cannonball.
If you believe, go all the way in. You mentioned this earlier. You were talking about like the attitude towards like hard classes versus easier classes in school. But in general, like growing up in school, going through elementary school, middle school, high school, what was your attitude on school? What did you think of it? What did you think of the process?
Elementary was like easy. When I got to like the big leagues, middle school, I couldn't keep up.
Why?
Like, I was just like, I'd look at everybody else in class. I'm like, y'all understand this? Y'all get this?
Was it because of the way they were teaching it?
No, I think it was just me.
It's you.
It was like, I'm in this physics class, and I'm just like, how do y'all get this so easily and I don't? I just didn't process it. You know, some people, they do a math test and they didn't have to study. And it's just like effortless for them. That wasn't me. But I didn't mind because I kind of could piece together this concept. If I show up, I'm going to pass.
Right.
And so the kids who didn't show up to classes, they failed. The kids who did, they passed. So it's like, I don't know what the stat is on it, but like if you show up, you're probably going to pass. Might not be an A. You're probably going to pass. And the only people who, most 90% of people who don't pass, they just didn't show up. So I was just like, I just need to show up.
Well, the reason that's interesting, because that's not where I was expecting you to go with that. But you're also, there's another point here that I'd love to see your thoughts on this and how you might reflect on it with your own journey. But the reason I was bringing it up is because I think about this one clip of Carl Sagan all the time. Okay. You know who Carl Sagan is? Yeah. So he was the original like science popularizer, brilliant guy, and brought things down to earth, no pun intended for people. But there's a famous clip of him talking about what happens when you speak to a group of kindergartners and the questions they ask. They'll ask things like, why is the sky up? Why are the plants green? Mm-hmm. Why do the animals live in the same places where some humans do? Right. And simple things like this. Right. And he said, then when you go to a class of 12th graders, they don't ask any questions. No. They're afraid to. And he goes, the kindergartner questions are actually brilliant. We make them seem in society like it's stupid or simple, or like, oh, that's cute. A little kid's asking why the fucking sky's up. Yeah. But the reality is they're genius questions because they're curious. They're looking at the surroundings in their world and wondering why things are the way they are, which is the basis root of any scientific endeavor that's ever happened on this earth, or creative endeavor for that matter. So what he was saying is that something terrible has happened between kindergarten and 12th grade in the system, in school, society, how it gets to you to where kids suddenly decide to be embarrassed to ask questions because they fear that it is not going to be intelligent. And so obviously something's broken there that has got them to that mindset. And I bring this up because you look at the world in such an inspirational way. And I see this from before I even knew you, but then especially when I'd be talking on the phone with you, like our first conversations, and you would just ask question after question, simple shit. So this is not like fucking, what is the square root of 69 million trillion or something. This was literally, you're asking me questions that are 1 + 1. Okay, now what's 1 + 3? Okay, now what's 1
and
+ 5?
how many times have I called you asking a question? A
lot, but it gets somewhere. Yeah. And we figure things out because you keep things simple. And then when you combine that with the fact that in the way you express yourself and the way you think about things, you are a curious dreamer. There is something about you that when you were a kindergartner, those beautiful like thoughts and ideas that come into your head, where everyone else around you went through the same system you did and lost that, or most people did. Yeah. You didn't. Why do you think that is?
That's a hell of a question. Why did I not lose it? Why did I not lose? I asked a question the other day. You know how they say you passed with flying colors? What the fuck is a flying color? Is it a rainbow? Like what? Like I guess I still ask these questions, but what is a flying color? Does anybody know? Can we look up what like a flying, like where does that come from? Passed with flying colors. I'm curious. Why have I never lost it? I think my answer is actually going to disappoint everybody. I'm sorry for not being deep with that very deep question. But I think everything that comes back to how I operate is like fun.
Why is that? I think that's a fine answer.
it's just like
Yeah.
it was fun for me asking you what does flying colors mean. It is not
Yes.
fun for me asking you what square root of 72 is, but it would actually be a fun conversation if I asked you, like, how did they know what dinosaurs sound like? Because nobody was there. They just making this up. Like, how do we know? I'm sorry, but that's like a way more fun conversation. Like somebody was there. Like,
We gotta get Ken Lacavara back. Answer that one.
but like fast with flying colors. What does this mean?
It comes from a maritime tradition where naval ships returned to port with their colors, flags, unfurled to signify victory in battle or a successful voyage. So they were calling the flag colors.
So it's not a rainbow. Okay, cool. Now we know.
Now we know.
But to me, these questions are fun.
Yes.
Like, I would rather ask you a question like if like a pyramid was built in like the stone weighs like 70 tons and like a crane today can only lift a 10-ton, but the stone came from 500 miles away. How did they get it over there? And then, hold on, did aliens? It has to be alien.
Yeah.
But it's like, to me, that's just a fun question.
Yeah.
So for me, I just think everything comes back to play, fun,
Absolutely.
ease, because that's just what I want in my life.
Here's why it's a great answer. That's what kids do.
Somewhere
along the way, it goes from having fun to being cool.
It does.
Fitting in,
It
conforming,
does.
doing what you're told. Like, the way you think is, like, there's got to be a better way to simplify this, but you mesh the literal and the figurative. That's why I was drawn to you when I first found you, because in a lot of ways, when I hear you talk, I hear very similar ideas from like great artists like a Kanye West. Kanye West will say things like, why when a kid jumps on a table when he's 2, he's out of control, because society's trying to control you. He takes like a figurative and turns it into what is the science of the literal right there. When you hear Terrence Howard, who's a brilliant artist, who has some interesting science ideas that probably aren't right, but like not because he's not smart. Like when he talks about 1 + 1, he's like, or 1 × 1, he's like 1 × 1, 1 × 1. It's an action on an action. When does an action not create a bigger action? And it's like, all right, scientifically, technically, you're wrong. But like I get like
that was a nice
he's seeing it. You know what I mean? So when you look at things, you are always looking at like the root of why we're literally making the sounds we make to describe something and what that means, how that's programming our brains. And you see it beyond what you might see in a dictionary definition, and instead what you would see in an interpretation of it when you take it in the context of everything said.
You want to know what's interesting about this? If I were to ask you, what's the definition of insanity, what would you say?
Doing the same thing over and over again.
I looked it up. That's not the definition. Yeah. Somebody made that shit up.
Yeah.
And we believe it.
Who did? We looked that up before. Who did make that up?
It's not a definition.
Someone said that, though, for the first time. That became like the culture definition.
Yeah, no, it's stuck. Yeah. Shout out to that person.
Yeah.
That's stuck. Now, that's a good one. I'm inspired by that person. They changed the definition, and we all know it.
We got it. Albert Einstein.
Of course.
Instead, he originated 12-step. The phrase insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result was not coined by Albert Einstein, but instead appears to have originated in the early 1980s at 12-step meetings and was published in a 1981 Narcotics Anonymous pamphlet and later in Rita Mae Brown's 1983 novel Sudden Death. So it's something that people started to say in like Alcoholics Anonymous, which would make sense. They're trying to break a pattern. But to your point, it's stuck because you can picture it.
Yeah.
It made sense.
Oh, that's clever.
You know, it's a loop. What's insanity? Insanity is a loop, right? So that's like, I like hearing you speak because you look at like the layer below. It's like the third eye. You look at the layer below the layer and make sense of it. And so those questions that like you would ask when you're, you know, 4 or 5 and you're learning words for the first time and reading, and your mind's making these little patterns as to why that word's spelled like that and that one's spelled like that. At some point you just read the words in front of you because they call on you in class when you're 10 or 11 and you're expected to finish this paragraph and not stutter, so the cute girl to your left is making fun of you, right? And we stop thinking about what it means, or like why it was written that way, or what could be underneath that? Even if we're wrong, it's like maybe there's another message there. Maybe there's a little bit of fucking, whatever the hieroglyphs on the side of the pyramids within these words.
Right. Man, bro. You said cute girl in high school?
Mm-hmm. I think it was 10, but yeah.
Bro, there was a girl I had a crush on in high school. And she chose like an athletic guy over me. We were both talking to her. I think she liked me, but then this other guy started talking to her. And like I would always like go over to her house and like hang out with her. And then she liked this other guy named Robert. Robert was fit, athletic, and I wasn't. And that lit a fire in me. And it started a pattern in my life of how every insecurity I had became such a gift for me to want to be successful. You know how Kanye said, like, everything I'm not made me everything I am?
Yeah.
There was even this time where I was in middle school and these kids were making fun of me because I didn't know who was in the magazine. Like they had a XXL or Source magazine, and they would point at, there was a group of girls, and they would point at it and say, Charlie, do you know who this is? And I was like, no. They're like, you don't know who that is? And then they would laugh at me, and then they would point at another celebrity. It might have been Janet Jackson. I don't know who Janet Jackson is. Like, I like basketball. I like Allen Iverson. But they were laughing at me, and I kind of like made an oath to myself, like in that moment, I don't like how this feels. I don't feel like I deserve this feeling. And I made an oath. I said, I'm not just going to know who these celebrities are. I'm going to create them. And I'm going to be better at this than they are. And like, I thought about like the girl in high school who chose me over another guy. Like my motivation for like years was like, I'm going to be successful because I'm never going to have a woman not choose me. Like I guess like survival of the fittest would be like business. So it's like, I'm going to be successful. Like I don't like this feeling. And so like, I've always taken anything bad and I've really tried to like use that as like fuel. And I remember when Soulja Boy fired me.
Why did Soulja Boy fire you? You were his videographer
I was
at the
his
time? You were like
videographer.
20, something like that?
19, 20, yeah. So Soulja Boy chose me to be his cameraman because I had a movement going in Atlanta. At the time I was in community college and I was just buying time because I was like in this middle ground of like, Ma, I'm going to be a very successful businessman, but like I don't have money. My mom said, you need to go to school or you're going to have to pay rent. And I was like, okay, I'll go to school. So my website, spitshowgame.com. My website's taken off, but I'm not making money. It was like SoundCloud before SoundCloud. It was like SoundCloud. You know who Lyrical Lemonade? So I was Lyrical Lemonade. Like I was a videographer. I had like, I was curating the culture of the Atlanta dance movement. Crank that Spider-Man, crank that Batman, crank that Yang, crank that the whole dance movement in Atlanta. I was the cameraman for. And my website was blowing up. Soulja Boy starts taking off on MySpace. And he was in Mississippi, but he was a big fan of the Atlanta movement. So when he got his record deal, he can have whatever he wants. So he told his record label, I want Charlie from spitshowgame.com to be my cameraman. So the first year of college, I kind of like blew it. I was just buying time, stopped showing up to class, lost my scholarship. It's time for me to go back for my second year of college. Mom's going to kill me if she finds out like I didn't show up to class. Long story short, I needed a miracle. Santa delivers presents in the dark, okay? That is a reoccurring theme I always say in my life. It's dark. I'm now having to pay for books and school. I lost my scholarship. I don't need to be here. I need my business to take off. I am CEO Charlie, and I am in my mom's basement, and I am broke. I have a business that's taking off, but I'm not making money. And as I'm on campus, signing up for classes, paying for books, my phone rings. And the caller ID said Beverly Hills. I answered the phone, and the deepest voice you've ever heard, it was like the voice of God, said, "This is Brian Washington from Interscope Records. May I speak with Charlie?" I said, "This is Charlie speaking. How can I help you, Mr. Washington?" He said, "We just signed an artist, and he requested for you to be his cameraman, but you would need to go on tour." I said, "I would love that. Sign me up. But I need to ask my mom if I can drop out of school." He said, "How old are you?" I was like, "I'm 19. He said, "Okay, ask your mom. Call me back. You got my number." So I go home to my mom. Now, my mom sold vacuum cleaners, so she knows a sales pitch when it's coming. So I asked my mom.
Did you take the stick out?
She did not take the stick out. No, the Be Good stick.
I keep picturing, remember that scene in Old School where he's like, "My mom said she'd kill me if I left college. She showed me the knife." I keep picturing that when I'm thinking of the stick.
All right, picture that. I'm in my mom's. She's got the stick, okay? I literally said to her, "Mom, I just got a phone call from Interscope Records. That's the record label that has Black Eyed Peas." I'm not naming one rapper. I do not need to scare my mom. Black Eyed Peas, Gwen Stefani, like all these pop stars. That's who called me. And they just signed this new artist. He's a kid. He's 16. And he makes dance music. They want me to go on tour with him.
Dance music.
Dance music. And I could see what's going through my mom's head. Sex, drugs, violence, hip hop. Like tour. Have you ever seen the movie Almost Famous?
Of course.
I'm going on tour.
Blue Jean Baby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's going to be me. I'm the journalist going on tour with the rap star. And I could see my mom like, "Oh my God, my little baby." Because in her eyes, I'm her little baby. And she got real quiet. And she put her arms behind her back and started pacing back and forth like Mr. Miyagi. And I never seen my mom look like an old, wise Chinese man before. And she's staring out of the sliding glass doors, looking into the creek in the backyard. And I know whoever speaks first is going to lose. I learned that from sales. When you make a sales pitch, you shut up. She's looking out the sliding glass doors. And it was just like silence. It just lasted. And I'm thinking over here, like, this is my freaking dream is about to come true. I'm going to be successful. She turns around and she looks at me straight in the eye. And she says, "Son, when a door opens, you have to walk through it." Shout out to moms who believe in their kids' dreams, first and foremost. But she also said, "You're not going to be in school. You got to pay rent." So I got her blessing. I'm going on tour with Soulja Boy. And I got to see in a very short period of time what was humanly possible. The very first show we did, we're in a minivan. Soulja Boy hasn't blown up all the way yet. The kids on MySpace know Soulja Boy. But we're in a minivan in Montgomery, Alabama, at the most dangerous club that we're not even supposed to be in because we're under 21. They got AK-47s at the front.
Excellent.
No, this is this is my first day on tour. I'm like, what am I doing? But we're in a minivan. We're not in a black truck. We're in a rental minivan with a unknown artist who's bubbling with 13-year-olds. And we're going into Soulja Boy was not big yet. With the kids, he was big.
With your language there. Bubbling with 13-year-olds.
That sounds really bad.
That was another pause.
13 years old. 13-year-olds loved his music and had his ringtone, okay? AK-47s. We're in the club. Next thing you know, we're being yanked by security and like the club owners. And we're dragged up these stairs and put in an office.
In an office?
In an office upstairs of the nightclub. We hear all this commotion and ruckus going on. We don't know what's happening downstairs. We think somebody got shot and killed. They said, do not leave this room. We come downstairs. The club's empty. Mm-hmm. Police are outside. They don't tell us what's going on. We're kids. I guess if we were in the building, they could have even gotten in more trouble, lost our liquor license and everything. I don't know what happened that night. But I'm like, what have I gotten myself into? Just 3 months later, I got to experience what was humanly possible from a human reaching full potential. We go from a minivan in a nightclub and nobody really knowing us to we're performing at the VMAs in Hugh Hefner's suite, overlooking Las Vegas on a pool with Kanye West. Kanye West has the biggest set on the VMAs. He has his album coming out, the one with flashing lights, Champion. This is Graduation. Yeah. This is 2006. Him and 50 Cent had that album dropping on the same day. Kanye West is the biggest artist in the world. And who's he bringing out on his VMA set?
Soulja Boy.
I'm like, this is humanly possible in a couple months. This is what's possible. To where the entire world fell in love with Soulja Boy. I started feeling myself. I started thinking this was the Charlie Show. I have my diamond chains. I'm in the music videos. I got a little cocky, a little arrogant. I started talking to one of the same girls Soulja Boy was talking to. Yeah, like I'm really fucking up. We get to Atlanta, last day of the tour. October 4th, 2007. Album just came out. Last day of the promo tour. Soulja Boy says, let me get that diamond chain back. I want to get it washed. I see him take the diamond chain off. Me. And he hands it to this guy named Kwani Cash. Shout out to Kwani Cash. Amazing artist and producer from Atlanta. He's actually who taught Soulja Boy how to make beats, but I saw him give it to Kwani Cash. And I'm like, this is weird. The diamond chain was a big deal to me. I'm the cameraman. I'm like, I'm the man now because of the diamond chain. Next morning, we're supposed to go to the Jimmy Fallon show. I didn't get the itinerary. So I wake up. Nobody's answering my calls. Road manager, Soulja Boy, Arab. Nobody's answering my calls. So I go to the airport because I know we're supposed to fly out. We got Jimmy Fallon today. We're going to LA to promote the album. I know this is happening. Go to the airport, about 4 hours pass. I realized I think I'm fired. In the most cruel way.
Yeah.
It sounds very cruel, right? Like not to even be told. And so after 4 hours in the airport, I get back on the MARTA bus. I go back to my mom's basement, go to my mom's house. I said, Mom, I think I'm fired. And she said, I am so sorry. I said, no. This is the best thing that's happened. She said, excuse me? I said, Ma, this is a winning streak. She said, why? I said, listen, I'm the lowest paid person on the team. I have to ask for my money. I don't even get paid on time. I got my food spat on in Las Vegas. I was treated like shit. This is a winning streak. Because now I get to be the highest paid person on the team. She's like, what do you mean? Yeah. I'm going to be a manager. She said, you know how to manage artists? I said, I'm the cameraman. I know how to make the artist videos go viral. Of course, I'm going to be the best manager. Managers don't know how to make videos and make their artists famous. I have a media outlet. I know how to edit a video. I have an audience. I got to be in every room, so I got to learn everything. This is a winning streak. I would have never quit this job. It was too cool. He did me a favor by firing me. Delusional optimism, taking L's, turning into W's. I'm going to be a manager. And I found all the reasons why this shitty situation is a blessing. Why? Because it's more fun.
There it is.
I could be in a shitty situation and stay there. But instead, I'm going to be a manager.
Start an adventure.
Now, did it get good after that? Absolutely not. I'm in a dark place in my life. Okay? I'm in a dark place, and I find myself in New Orleans passing out, not CDs, passing out flyers for a NBA All-Star after party. I was just in Las Vegas with Kanye West in the Hugh Hefner suite, and now I'm passing out flyers for a party. It sucks. We rode down to New Orleans in a 16-passenger van, herded like cattle, like I'm like on a freaking like school bus to go promote a party, get it paid $100. I was so special, and now I'm at the bottom, but guess what happens in the dark? Santa Claus always delivers presents in the dark, right? There's got to be a blessing in this. There was an artist that was down there that I used to film for. His name's Young Envy. There was this girl he liked. She was cute. She was in a rap group. He was showing me her music video in New Orleans. I said, that's going to be my group. That's going to be my group. My heart lit up. I felt it. I was like, they're like the female version of like Outkast, but for like teenagers. They're wearing tutus, colorful clothes. One raps, one sings. I was like, this is it. This is it. This is my group. I said, can you introduce me to her? I'm going to sign them. I'm going to get them a record deal. He introduces me to her. I take a management contract over to the grandma's house, sit down with them, say, I'm going to make y'all stars. If I wasn't in that dark place in New Orleans passing out flyers, I would have never found them. I found them. I signed them. I got them a record deal. CEO Charlie is back, baby. CEO Charlie is back. We got a record deal with Interscope Records, and they're taking off. Charlie Rocket is out of here. CEO Charlie is out of here. And then we're in Washington, D.C., and they fire me in an airport. True story.
And the loop starts again.
Back to my mom's basement. Now, what's going through everybody's head right now? Charlie, why do you keep getting fired? Same reason with Soulja Boy. Same exact reason. I asked my mom, who sold vacuum cleaners. I said, Mom, there was this one manager that you worked for, and you loved him, and you would do anything for him. I want to go meet with him because I'm a manager and my artists hate me. She puts me in contact with the legend, Bill Cook. He has a horse farm in North Georgia. I pull up. He's sitting on a bucket in the mud. He said, Charlie, come sit on this bucket. I'm wearing some nice shoes. He said, Charlie, come sit in the mud. Pulled out a bucket, sat me down. I said, Bill, how did you get my mom to love you as a manager? He said, I worked for your mom. I said, what? You were her manager? He said, I worked for your mom. He said, I was of servitude to your mom. Yes, I made more money than her. Yes, I was the boss. It was my job to work for her. If I want everything that I want, I need to make sure she has everything she wants. He said, your problem is you think this is the Charlie show. And if you dedicate your life to making other people's dreams come true, you will get all of your dreams. You're not asking these people what their dreams are. You're not being of servitude. You're not fulfilling their dreams. And so they will leave you for the person who promises they will. So when I signed Travis Porter, my next group, well, one, I had to move back to my mom's basement. Shout out to my mom. Moved back to my mom's basement, and I picked myself up, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to be cool anymore. I'm going to go put my suit back on like I was in high school. I'm not going to talk to these girls. I'm going to run the play. I'm tired of losing. I need to be successful. Put the suit on, passed out the CDs for Travis Porter, and they never left me. And I didn't have Travis Porter, 2 Chainz, Young Dolph, Bankroll Fresh, my most successful artist, never left me. Why? Because I woke up every day and realized it's my job to make their dreams come true. I need to be of servitude, and that's when I learned the power of servitude. And that's how I spend every day of my life now.
I think something that really separates you from a lot of these people who run around online and just talk about manifestation or saying the right things or being positive is that you're real. You are very open about not only the struggles that you've had in the past and overcome, but the ones you continue to have. And it's like amazing talking with you today because I'm see like it comes to life and I can see it and I can see you're not just this guy I saw behind the camera that looked awesome. Like you're actually this dude, which is always such a gratifying thing about sitting in this seat and doing it. But it does come back to it for me, what I'm sure, you know, won't surprise you at all, which is that very theory that you came up with that I first found you with, the IMU theory, you live that in every way. And it was something that when I saw it, it was easy for me to say at that time, you know, a 23-year-old or whatever I was who had no success or whatever. Of course I lived it. I didn't have any choice but to live it. I wasn't anything to look up to. But it set an amazing precedent for me to realize like, hey, I have dreams. I want to do special shit. But what happens to a lot of people when they do special shit? They switch up. They become something different. They become above people. They're like, oh, look at me. I'm this thing and you're not. And you sat around one day, and people have heard me say it a million times before, and you just started with what? A simple fucking question.
A simple question.
Who's the highest grossing superhero of all time? Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Why is that? I was actually talking with my friend Vito about this the other day, and he added a point in there. He said Stan Lee said he created Spider-Man where he was completely covered head to toe down to his fingers and his face so that anyone could be Spider-Man. You didn't know what race he was even, right? So, but you talked about like you thought it was going to be Batman or Superman, you know, with all this stuff because they were good looking.
Chisel chin, muscles.
That's right.
Iron Man.
Batman was Bruce Wayne. He got all the ladies and everything.
Yeah.
Superman was like, oh, Superman.
Yeah.
And then you got this scrawny kid without the chisel chin, can't get the girl, lives in a lower class, constantly getting the shit kicked out of him, gets a weird talent, wears glasses, you know? But people are like, I fuck with that guy.
Yeah.
And then you get to the whole, you're like, all right, well, let's try this on other things. Like, this is what I love about you. You immediately go 30,000 feet in the air. And you say, no, I don't want to know equals MC squared. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to do 1 + 1. And then we'll do 1 + 2 and 1 + 3. So you're like, all right, religion. That's another big thing. You got superheroes, you got religion. What's the biggest religion of all time? Christianity. Who's the leader of Christianity? Jesus Christ. And this is like, I remember watching that for the first time with you talk with Ed Milet. And like, this is where the chills come in because I'm like, oh shit. And you could, the best part is like Ed Milet's like sitting there the whole time and he's just like, yes. You know, it's like this big guy, yeah, oh, yes. Yeah. And he's just like amping you and you're like, hold on, I got more. But you go through Jesus Christ and you're like carpenter, hung around with poor people, had 12 followers. Sometimes he got a big crowd, but like, you know, he wasn't riding around on a white horse with shiny armor telling everyone he was this great savior or whatever. He was just a regular dude who broke bread with you and said, let's go have fucking dinner. Right? And then you're like, all right, well, if this is with corporations, everyone says corporations suck. It's so boring. But if this makes sense there, then it's going to make sense everywhere. Most famous company of all time, Apple. Who founded Apple?
Steve Jobs.
That's right. I'm getting chills with you sitting right here. Steve Jobs, the guy who had the beard. Corporate dude who cut the suit. He had flaws. He was open about them. He was the kind of guy that looked at tech products and instead of naming it fucking Inspiron 46,000, he named it iPhone, iPod, Lisa. Named the
Macintosh.
Macintosh. Human. Named it after you.
Human was I.
That's where you did the Kanye thing for the first time, by the way. iPod. I'm like, God damn it, son of a bitch. God, Lisa. Like, all right, I see it. And then you saw, you're like, I'm on to it. But sports too. And this is the one where people push back sometimes.
Really?
So let's get it in context.
Oh, I would love to go push back on this because I'm sold on what I discovered.
So you said, who's the biggest athlete of all time? And I love how you said it. You're like, it's not LeBron's fault. It's not Kobe's fault.
It's not.
Right? Like they were great. But LeBron is a no fault of his own genetic specimen. He was called the king when he was 13. Yeah. Now by the way, I do think LeBron deserves a ton of credit for being someone who grew up with no father, no money in the house, worked his way out of there. He's a billionaire now. Like there's people like to rip on LeBron for stuff, but there is way more good with LeBron than bad in my opinion. And Kobe also hard worker, right? Something to relate to.
The hardest worker.
Right. And he wasn't the biggest prospect until he got towards the end of high school. But he was the Mamba.
Yep.
He was different. He was his own thing.
He's different.
Michael Jordan now, this is why people push back. They're like, he's Jordan. He's the Jordan brand. He's the man behind the candelabra. He's kind of like above people. You weren't talking about it for that. You were talking about Michael Jordan when Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan and becoming Michael Jordan and getting into his prime and everything. This is the scrawny kid who was cut from his high school basketball team.
True story.
He wasn't the number one recruit. He went and won a national title at North Carolina, and they still fucking drafted Sam Bowie in front of him. Took him 7 years to get to the Paramount NBA. Wins a title, wins 3 in a row. Then his dad gets shot. He has grief on a public level that everyone can relate to. He throws it all away, embarrasses himself on TV in a lot of ways. Playing professional baseball, people watched him fail. And he was the underdog again. And then he writes 2 words, I'm back. Comes back, loses in the 4-5, throws on the 2-3, goes 3 and goes out. And it's like it's this hero story. And then you even have the song, and you're like me, and I'm like that. You know what? And it's
if I
like,
could be like Mike.
dude.
But hold on. Let's go to the commercial.
How did you, Charlie, how the fuck, like when you finished cooking that, it couldn't have been that long because you were just moving.
Yeah, it was quick.
Were you like, oh?
Yeah, it was the Michael Jordan thing brought it home for me because it was that commercial that really brought it home. The commercial was him being colorful. The ball hits him in the head in the commercial. Kid passes him the ball. Oh, everybody's like laughing. And then the song is colorful. If I could be like Mike, sometimes I dream that he and me. And it's not okay. We're gonna put that in contrast to a Mamba commercial. Michael Jordan saying in that commercial, "I'm just like you. I'm just like these kids." And even the song is saying, if I could be like Mike, like it's just like Mike, happy, messing up, colorful, playing with kids. And then we go to like King James, which is like top of the mountain. King. You're talking about Mamba, alone in a cave. We're talking about literally Superman and Batman. And then Michael Jordan is Spider-Man. Now, even though he's the best of all time, in my opinion, it could be a debate. But being cut from his high school basketball team was the greatest gift that ever happened to his story. It allowed every person who wore those shoes aren't shoes. Those shoes it's possible.
It's a cape.
It's a real cape. And so LeBron, I watched his documentary in high school, his high school documentary. It was good. The man never lost a game. Mm-hmm. I lose every day. I think he might have lost one game. But the comparison of I got cut versus I lost one game, it's not LeBron's fault. LeBron's supposed to go win.
Right.
It's just Michael Jordan has flaws. LeBron, hairline maybe?
Jordan didn't even have a hairline, so he's even got him there.
Long story short, it's not LeBron's fault. It's not Kobe's fault. But if you were talking about marketing, Michael Jordan and the marketing team and his story and how they utilized his story, it influenced culture. And there's this one thing that was vivid to me as a child. When Michael Jordan caught the ball, this is the last couple seasons, he caught the ball, and what happened in the stands? 12,000 cameras going off every time he caught the ball. We'll probably never witness that again. Mm-mm. You just pass him the ball, brrr, the whole stadium's taking pictures. We all felt something. People would spend their last penny on just making sure they witnessed him play because there was something that resonated in our hearts so much with his story, his downfalls, his overcoming. We got to see ourselves.
Yes.
And so for each and every one of us out here, we can use this I am you theory in a daily practice with ourselves. I have flaws. That's my gift to be the greatest. I am now disarming anything that ever happens to me. I have disarmed it because I just showed gratitude towards the brain tumor. I wouldn't have been a Nike athlete without it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the weight struggle. Still to this day, I can give gratitude because I struggle with my weight now. It's embarrassing losing 120 pounds and then gaining 60 back. I'm grateful for it. You know why? There's a reason why we all loved Oprah so much.
Mm-hmm.
The woman is, if you took her weight out of the picture and love out of the picture, that would have been the most perfect, like, woman. Imagine Oprah with the bikini body and had the perfect husband. It's just like, oh, everything she does is good.
Mm-hmm.
We see so much. Like, she was sexually abused. She had weight issues. She had love issues. And yet she got to be so great. You know what? I have issues too. You know what? Maybe my issues are what's going to make me great. And that's a little bit of delusional optimism right there.
Sure.
But you know what? We all got issues. And if we give ourselves permission to be like, no, I'm glad. I'm glad. Because that's what Michael Jordan had. He had issues. Oprah had issues. Spider-Man had issues. And you know what? I'm celebrating it.
And you're showing it. And that's the thing. That's what, like, the theory was amazing. And I saw by the Jesus one, we all saw where you were going. It's like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
But the way you closed it, which made Ed lose his mind, righteously so, is you're like, so putting this all together now, and this is, you know, you're recording that in like January 2019 or something like that. So you come up with this theory maybe in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Social media is effectively like 11, 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very young thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you're recognizing that, like, we have completely moved our culture to this thing where we got to show perfection and we got to show I have all this. Look at me, follow me, like my videos, like my pictures, because I'm not like you, I'm above you.
Right.
But the paradigm is actually the opposite throughout human history. So we have popularized something that goes against our literal evolutionary wiring. And it was just like,
yeah.
Like, it, dude, I told you on the phone the first time we talked, genius. I'll tell you now, genius.
Thank you, man.
I've never told that to someone personally, right? Who didn't sit back and go, whoa.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing that. That was I saw that in 2019. That was a very important year for me, trying to figure some things out. And I think that also was like an important reminder. I didn't know what I was going to be doing next yet. This started March 2020. I wasn't there yet, but I knew something was going to happen in my life. Something was going to change. I was going to force a change. And I think that served as an incredible baseline, especially the space I ended up choosing, something in the public forum, to always, you know, recognize not losing yourself, not becoming this thing.
Right. Absolutely.
Dude, this has been a blast.
Bro,
you're fucking amazing.
I loved every second of this.
I'm glad.
Is there anything else you want to ask me, bro?
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of things. That's why you have to come back at some point.
Bro, this was like my favorite interview I've ever done. Really? I got to feel like I could just be me, bro. Crazy me. Like, bro, you brought out a side of me that I'm just like, I just want to like spew anything that's in my mind. I feel like you understand it though. So many times I have to like dumb myself down or format myself, but I feel like you actually understand my craziness.
I appreciate that, bro. I hope I do. I think I do. And part of that's being a fan and like following your stuff for a long time. But the other part of it is it really gets real when you sit down in a closed room. You know, everything's off. I turned this on for 1 second, by the way.
What is this?
Look at the middle tweet right there from yesterday.
Middle tweet.
The Sean Ryan tweet. Look at the response.
Name the person who believed in you before you believed in yourself. My mom.
Yeah. This is the universe lining up
for
right
real.
there. Just
shout out to moms who actually believe in their kids.
Yeah. But it's really cool to put a name with the face and sit in here and, you know, get a few hours to really get down to who you are. And I hope you keep doing all the shit you're doing and the things you dream of doing as well, because you've made it happen over and over again, and it shows people it's possible. It's a really fucking cool thing, man.
Appreciate it, bro.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Charlie Rocket.
Appreciate it, man.
Love you, bro. All right. Everybody else, You know what it is. Give it a thought. Get back to me. Peace. Thank you guys for watching the episode. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and smash that like button on the video. They're both a huge, huge help. And if you would like to follow me on Instagram and X, those links are in my description below.